top. Watch me bust on any block. Northside, naughty scope on the shot. Send me blow your body. Tony gripping on the Tommy, bitch. I bite the head off a bad like a Mozzie. You got a problem, motherfucker, come and try me. I'm nothing like what you punk boys wanna embody. North, east side, 5'9", Tony grip the Tommy. Fuck around, end up with your body autopsy. I be that walking zombie, bad sauce, eating bodies. 3 choppers in the shot, shooting everybody. Cigarette wet, bumping boosie badass. On them drugs, jigging jaws, lock clench. Trigger finger itching. If you think I'm kidding, smoke leaking from the sticky that we smoking, boy. Fuck a backwoods, which is what I use, boy. Smoke what I choose, do what I wanna do. Motherfuck you and your punk friends too.
Ruby, blonde lid, lungs, edge, bitch, I like the sting. Smoking potent, thinking I'm the chosen one, bitch, I'm a king. I can hear my dead homie sing. Now my eyes always hurting, wiping tears with diamond rings, yeah, hey.
Hold the fuck, boy, who the fuck said we cool? Man, I quit smoking with hypebeats back in 2002. What it do, motherfucker, I'm a fool. Ripping the champions, going up with goblins, if you got a bottom, then you better move. From the womb to the tomb, busting out early, busting out soon. Back out the city, I'm back on the 30s, in about 20 minutes, we'll be on the moon.
Drugs got me fucked up, sluts got me drugged up, fuck. Slap my face against a pill to crush shit up. Government ID helps me get high, seeing stars in the mirror like I'm looking with a pipe in. Lime green paint, but the rims looking sparkly. Mighty sloppy, might be cocky, am I in the right? Say highly unlikely, and I'm willing to fucking bet.
Leave a pussy wet, then I leave a pussy wet. I'm a fucking vet, I'm a motherfucking threat. G59 the set, G59 will make you sweat. I don't give a fuck, it's my fucking epithet. Lace up my Nike deck, gauge, BBM, Devon's gay, 7 war by the leg to my death.
You come off of your drunken stupor from Bourbon Street Saturday night, get up in time to go to Mass on Sunday morning, and you tell God you're sorry for your drunkenness, only to go back out tonight and get wasted again.
All right, all right, all right. I'm back, baby. Let's go. I am Majestic Falcor. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am live, like my boy Bruce Buffer was like. Anyways, so little things planned for tonight. Got some Lorne Armstrong calls, and I want to finish the night with some uh paranormal videos and whatnot. Anyways, so without further ado, without me blabbering about, yeah, let's do it. Let's get her done. First, let's. Hold on, I'm failing. I'm failing. Hold on. Um, Oh, stop. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. I am so sorry. I am not prepared. I'm not ready. Looks like our first call will be some rage from Mr. Cod.
Pursue you because, quote,
Uh,
The doctor seen your tip, they seen you in your panties. You keep getting this motherfucker in my face, so I'm gonna start going out karaoke. Are you done running your mouth?
what?
Are you done running your mouth?
All right, I guess. Are you done being a drunk asshole? How about it?
but not.
I know, are you done being a drunk fucking bitch from all this fucking day?
Damn, Lauren. Already off
Big
the gate.
man. Wow.
Off the
Calling
gate
your girlfriend a
already.
bitch over the phone. Afraid of a quadriplegic. Yeah. What else can you do to prove to me that you're worthless, baby?
Do not even fucking pull shit on me.
I'm not pulling shit on you. I'm just telling
You
you.
pulled shit on me a fucking day.
Oh,
The
fuck.
day that we had yesterday was a fucking dream day for me. The day we had today, you fucking got it all on. Just to get fucking reactions from me. And finally, you know, open the bag.
Wow.
What?
You can't have better than me than what you just fucking acted. I don't need to fucking talk.
I don't understand you, baby.
You need to understand me. You need to start fucking acting better. Because you're being a fucking complete asshole.
Well, you're being an incomplete asshole. You're just being the inside part where all the shit is.
You have been a fucking asshole all goddamn day.
Here we
You've done
go.
everything you
Fucking
can.
asshole.
You have done every goddamn fucking thing you can to piss me off.
Here Lorne goes again on his own. I'm not doing anything.
Including the
Come on.
point where I got so fucking mad
And I
and
cried.
upset that, yeah, there you fucking go, Xavier.
Yeah.
If it doesn't mean a fucking thing to you how I feel, you don't need to talk to me.
You're
Goodbye.
Goodbye, fucker, cocksucker. You wonder why that show got popular? That show got popular because
Because they were making money.
no, that show got popular. I'm gonna tell you why that show got popular. That show got popular.
Because you're looking at people making themselves look like fools. They
Lorne,
want to dramatize the fucking show.
Lorne, there's nothing to dramatize. There were
Yeah,
men.
all right. Yeah, but you tell me that when they started the show out in California, they were walking out in the rest of the guy. When it came to the show in Bowling Green that I was in, they came over with fucking guns drawn on me, yelling, "Get on the ground."
Lorne, because you committed a felony and they did not know what you had on you.
They do. In California, they committed a felony. But they walked up to the person and handcuffed him. They didn't fucking point the guns at him and yell at him, get on the
Every
ground.
state's different, Lord.
They didn't dramatize it, but they did it in mine.
Lord, whether they had guns drawn, whether they had super soakers, whether they held out their fingers in the shape of a gun, the fact of the matter is that you and other guys showed up there with the intention to do detrimental harm to somebody, and they put it on TV. But Lorne, you're defending against it by saying it shouldn't have been on TV. You know what?
I am defending it because of the fact they did not need to put me on fucking national television.
Lord.
I didn't deserve that shit. I didn't ask for it. I wasn't in an adult channel. I'm looking for a kid.
Lorne.
They were the fucking ones that were being predators.
You can't say that Dateline destroyed a dream because they didn't destroy a dream.
I don't know why
you destroyed your own self.
On Dateline
because it's one of the things
they did not have a right. Don't tell me they had a right. They did not have a right to put it on that. So nobody else in the fucking world puts it on national television. Dateline did it for ratings. That's why they're not on the fucking TV right now.
Lorne, why do you think people watch that show?
Entertainment.
Why do you
it was entertainment to them.
Why do you think people were entertained?
Dateline figured it out, so they fucking did as much as they could to get more ratings.
Okay, why do you think
Dateline was not out to watch out for kids. They're out to fucking ratings. It's all about fucking money.
Okay, why do you think people were entertained by the show?
No fucking different than my fucking brother and sister.
Okay, why do you think people were entertained by the show?
Why do you keep pressing me on this stuff?
Because you're not taking responsibility.
I'm taking responsibility for what I've done.
Jesus Christ.
People were entertained.
I don't deserve a lifetime of fucking hell for what I did.
Lorne, you're not taking responsibility.
I'm not a bad person.
Well, I didn't use those words.
If I'm a bad person, why do you still want me?
Lorne, I did not use those words. You're the one who said that. I am just saying that you could do well to take responsibility.
I take responsibility for what I did. I'm not going to take responsibility for what NBC did.
Okay, Lorne, this whole thing would be easier on you if you took responsibility. Stop blaming Dateline, stop blaming NBC, and take responsibility.
Why do you keep misunderstanding me? I take responsibility for everything I said and everything I did.
Well, you can't really when you're saying that the chat was doctored.
Bullshit.
You don't when you say the chat was doctored.
It was, because I can fucking point out shit in it that was doctored. I know shit in it that was fucking doctored. I noticed it when I was in the jail and fucking looked at it for the first time.
So.
And I pointed it out to the guys in the cell with me. I noticed some shit that was fucked up. Then the fucking federal investigator came in talking to me. I'm a lawyer, but the federal investigator that works for my federal lawyer asked me if I wanted to see the DVDs. I said yes. He never brought them in for me to see. I didn't get to see until I already pleaded guilty and put a motion to the court to get the DVDs. When I got them, they were edited. Shit about the fucking system you don't know.
Lorne, you know what? If you were someone who was being tried and convicted for, let's say, I don't know, killing your neighbor. And they had no fingerprints, they had no blood evidence, no DNA, none whatsoever. No reason to believe that you had done it besides the fact that you live next door, then that would be outrageous. And I would be outraged if that happened to anybody because that's just ridiculous. But when you give them...
I know what you're saying already. And I want you to listen to me. I know what I did wrong. But I am pissed off about the shit that NBC purposely did wrong. That's what I'm telling you. The fucking so-called duck system down there, the police did wrong because they were fucking paid by NBC, giving computers and cameras and shit like that. That's not just coming from me. It's coming from the sheriff, the original sheriff that actually arrested me, because he's the same one that fucking took me to the Rotary Farm in the van and him and me talk. And he said he was sorry that he was ever fucking even involved in that show. He said he wished he had never been involved in it. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
I know what I did wrong.
But Lorne, it is disturbing when you continue to say that you shouldn't have been on TV and it shouldn't have been this way and it shouldn't have been that way. Lorne, it should
not have been on fucking television. Well, you even saw all this other fucking bullshit with other fucking guys. I've told you that. You don't listen. It's not me, that's you. How many times did he fucking put his hands on your fucking knees?
I asked him to. I saw him the day
fucking down
after, and I asked him.
This is my doctor! This is the guy who you know your boyfriend has a fucking problem with, and you're fucking asking to free these. I don't give a fuck if he's a doctor or not.
Lorne.
He's not even a fucking doctor that you pay. No, he fucking you, and you know I have a fucking problem with. He needs to make it.
Lorne, he is a doctor.
You're fucking serious, Ramona?
I'm dead serious. Yes, he's a freaking doctor.
Yeah, him fucking feeling your needs is not a professional thing. It's a fucking skill for him.
No, it is not.
That's bullshit.
Oh, bullshit.
He's a fucking killer.
Well, everybody...
He's not a look at you, John. He's a fucking guy.
Lorne.
You're not paying him.
Lorne, every doctor, even if the doctor and I were married, or even if we were dating or something, he would be able to feel my knees and feel the joints and the ligaments and the tendons inside of my knee and look for damage without getting a boner.
I don't give a fuck. If you're not fucking paying him, he doesn't have any right to fucking touch your knee.
He does have a right to touch my knee if I ask him to.
Not the way that motherfucker feels about you. Fuck that.
Lorne, first of all,
you know how your boyfriend feels about him. But you shouldn't even be asking to your goddamn knees.
As I was saying, it's not like he touched my knee with his penis. That's thing one. Thing two.
Yeah, but
it wasn't touching my knee. That's thing one. Thing two. Thing two, it is my body, not yours. And if I ask him to touch it, he has the right to. He doesn't need your permission to touch it. And as I was...
If asking me to touch your fucking body again, I'm going to look for somebody else. He doesn't have any right to fucking touch your body. You're my girlfriend, and you're not paying him to be your doctor. That's just fucking cheating on me.
Lorne, first of all, that is not...
I've seen the cocksucker naked. He's seen their tits and their panties, which is more than what I ever fucking expected.
So, So,
Go on my fucking knees tonight when you fucking pull that shit.
so now you have to approve of my doctors?
If you don't fucking pay me goddamn right.
What?
You don't fucking touch me, but you unless you're right there.
Lorne, he did not touch
I
me.
don't go to a fucking doctor until you're right there.
As I was saying, he did not touch me in a sexual way. It was not pleasant.
Yeah, well, it's fucking sexual to you, but goddamn guarantee what's to him.
Oh,
He is a professional, Lorne.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that for a fucking minute.
Okay, so you know him, but I don't. You've never met him, or me for that matter, but you know him better than I
fucking
do.
Guys.
Oh, so you know,
Guys.
so you know guys that you've never met.
And I know what he fucking said to me.
Okay, so geez, it's not like he's my gynecologist. Jeez, Lorne.
Yeah, Lauren G.
Does he answer me? He said he's fucking naked already. He does special to fucking, I'm only seeing him 2 nights a week, for 2 hours a night, 6 days a week.
Lorne,
He's over my fucking house all the goddamn time. No, I only fucking spend 10 minutes alone with him. When my boyfriend's on the phone, so I get a fucking hang up on my boyfriend and talk to this cocksucker.
do I call your
anything you're fucking saying?
do I call your friend's name?
You know, they don't fucking violate me.
Okay, and none of my friends have ever violated me.
Really?
Right.
Really, I would not stand for that if my friends violated me.
He's walked in on you and saw your fucking tits and your panties.
That was when I said, come in. He
Not one of my friends have fucking done that ever.
Okay, have you gone in a hot tub with your friends?
Yeah. And I've never seen this fucking genitals. Even when they fucking go to a fucking hot tub.
So you got in a hot tub
Isn't
with
that
them?
a coincidence how his fucking twitching just happened to come down it up so you can see his cock?
Jesus.
Lorne,
You don't think there's something fucked up about that shit?
Lorne. Really? The guy is not...
I don't give a fuck what you think the guy is.
But here's the difference,
He's a
though.
guy.
But here's the difference, though. I know him.
Well, you think you know him.
I know him. I've met
You
him.
were on the fucking phone with him that day, you didn't fucking know him.
First of all, he did tell me what he said. He said that he was not going to... his exact words to me were, I told him, because I don't think he believed that I'm dating someone in Maine. He said, quote,
You were fucking rude and disgusting as a motherfucker. That's the way I took him. And I'm a fucking guy.
Okay, anyway, you said before that you thought he was nice guy, but as I was going to say, he said that, quote, I told him that I'm going to continue to pursue you because, quote, well, I'm not going to say what he said, but he basically said that I like you and he wants to be with me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they don't get it. That's why you fucking walked in. He knew you were fucking in there. He ain't stupid. He's a fucking doctor.
Did not, because...
Bullshit. And you still haven't explained to me how you saw him fucking naked. Don't you find that a little fucked up? How you're fucking saying this shit to me right now, and you're not telling me the honest truth about the fucking doctor seeing him naked.
I told you.
And how you've been avoiding it for an hour and a half.
Lord.
Don't you find
Don't
something
you think-
wrong with that?
Well, let me ask-
No.
So anyway, as I was saying, just because you're loud does not make you right. In fact, you're incorrect. Now, as I
I
was
have to
saying,
be loud because you're not hearing anything I'm saying.
no, my ears work just fine.
How did you end up seeing him naked?
So if I tell you how I saw the doctor
Oh.
naked, are you going to play with Mr. Penis while I tell you?
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you
Yes.
on this fucking church crowd shit?
No, Lauren. It's just that it's all over the internet.
That fucking bullshit you just said was fucking kind of church crowd bullshit.
Yeah, because I had asked you before about Mr. Penis and this vagina.
I do love you. You don't love me.
Oh, Okay.
If you loved me, you would not do this stupid bullshit. And
I
you just
don't.
want to shut the fuck up with your fucking
Exactly.
nasty-ass bullshit
One ugly mug.
about
I
other
am.
guys, how you want to fuck other people.
Hey, Michael Mendoza.
Please love me.
I do love you.
I
You don't love me.
love you. I'm stronger.
Then from now on, shut the fuck up about other fucking guys. Get the goddamn hit.
I want to fuck them all, though, baby. What's wrong?
You did enough damage last night.
What's good, yo?
You really did enough damage last night.
You did.
No, I was sleeping. You was partying, showing your
Whoa.
fucking tits off last night. Remember?
Hello, beautiful.
No.
You did enough damage last night. Stop the stupid shit that you say about other fucking guys to me.
It was just a side boob. And my nipples were hidden with my hand.
There it is. Only a side boob.
I pushed them
You
into
was all,
Only a side titty.
listen,
Hello.
you're getting carried away with your words again.
Sorry. I love you, baby.
If you don't want to break up, then stop your stupid bullshit with me. I'm fucking tired of it, Wendy.
Will you marry me?
I'm really tired of that shit. You picked the worst night of any night to do that shit.
You can do that.
You can't admit when you're fucking wrong.
I am not wrong.
You told me that I can't admit it. You're not wrong by not telling me that you saw the doctor naked.
Warren,
When in the past, you told me everything. If you start being dishonest with me about shit now, I am going to be fucking done.
okay, and then I will be with the doctor, okay?
It's so fucking high, it's not even funny. Don't fuck with me. I'm fucking not going to fuck with somebody that's not going to be honest with me.
Like I said, and then if you and I are going, if you end it with me, then I will be with the doctor, okay? And there's no question about that.
Oh, God.
I'm worried about my life right now. I don't need anybody putting pressure on me about anything because I know what's going on in my own life. I don't
No, you don't,
need
Lord.
people saying stuff to me.
You don't know
Well,
anything in your
people
own
tell
life.
you stuff and you don't listen.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen one person in this family that
Excuse me.
listens at all.
Sorry.
Oh, that's in computer. You think you're going to be on there and you're going to get rich. The only way you're going to get rich is go get yourself
Oh,
a
my
job.
fucking word.
You
Oh, my
tackle.
word.
That computer, them people don't
Oh,
think
my
that's
word.
right. You think they're making you think that no, honorable celebrity and all that. That's not what they think. They're making a fool of you.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
if they give me money, I don't give a fuck.
They don't think you're all what you think they're trying to make you up to be.
Well, that's why I'm not relying on it too much.
Yeah. Well, you don't listen. Never did. You probably never will.
Well, ain't nobody got in this goddamn family is listening at all.
Oh, here we go.
You should have been.
When my family was stealing money off of me, did they fucking listen? No. Did anybody give a fuck? Did anybody say anything to Ralph or Lori? No.
I told you all the time. Your rent comes first.
Yeah, well, they didn't tell Ralph and Lori that they're not to fucking steal off their youngest brother.
What's that got to do with you now? You stupid enough to do it. You can't blame somebody else.
That's the whole reason, Mom. That's the whole reason I even left things to begin with.
It was always trying to.
Gorilla Gwen.
I know everything is my fault. Nothing's Ralph and Lori's fault.
He was trying to buy their love. Well, you can't.
Oh, bullshit. That's what Lori told you. That fucking bitch is a piece of shit. When are you going to see that, Mom?
That's like that girl. You was trying to buy her love, and you blew your money on her. You don't buy love. You earn it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So over fucking 30 years, I didn't earn Ralph and Lori's love. They had to fucking steal money off me.
Okay, I ain't gonna argue about that because it don't
I would
matter.
hope so,
Because
Lord.
we're talking about Ralph and Lori.
So I'm gonna get
You're
off
a
the
piece of
phone
shit.
and
God forbid the two oldest kids never fucking do anything wrong there. They're pieces of shit. They're fucking worthless.
it's like you live in the past all the time. You don't
I know, but they live so much in the future
living in the past.
because they can't stand their past.
Like
What they've done to people.
I could live in the past. I could blame your father. I could blame Dale.
Ralph and Lori can't.
I don't live in the past.
Ralph and Lori can't live in the past because Ralph and Lori have used too many people.
Fucking ass.
Okay, if you want to talk to me, you better come over here because I ain't gonna.
Bitch.
Well,
Bye.
I'm sorry. I love you to death, Mom, but you gotta realize Ralph and Lori are not angels. They're pieces
I
of
know they're
shit.
not angels. I don't
Fuck
see
off.
Ralph.
Ralph and Lori are exactly like your ex-husband.
Yeah. All right.
There you
Bye.
go.
Jesus.
I love
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Lauren?
Bye.
Fucking asshole.
I'm the man who wants to fucking marry you. Forever. I care about you. I don't care about money. I give a fuck less about money. So every time you mention money, it does nothing to me. Nothing.
Nothing.
It's you that I care about. You are so much a fucking victim. Why are you not standing up for yourself?
I am standing up to myself, to you.
Really?
Because right
With a
now,
$6 million
you're
house?
yelling at me. You're yelling at me.
With a $6 million house wrapped around your ass.
You're yelling
Who
at me.
cares about fucking money?
You're yelling at me.
You have integrity. You care about you.
Just don't care about you, Lauren. That's just.
Why are
Answer
you
me that
yelling,
question.
though? Why are
You
you
care.
yelling,
This.
though? You can't answer me.
Because I'm pissed because you.
Can you?
I'm pissed because
Because you're
you're
drunk
not
right now.
fucking defending yourself.
I am defending myself
pissed off
against
about
your
you.
ass.
Would
You're
love
drunk.
to knock
Against
out Lauren.
me. Against
Yeah.
me.
Against you.
Are you
Because right
fucking
now,
serious?
Oh, I'm serious. And I don't stand up for myself.
No, no,
Even
no,
though
no,
I'm
no, no,
telling
no,
you-
no, no,
Again,
no.
we're doing
No,
this again.
no,
We're
no,
doing this again.
stop.
We're doing
I'm
this
asking
again.
you, please stop. I did not tell you that.
You were
I was,
screaming.
yes, I was screaming.
Yeah, you were
I was
screaming.
screaming,
to
yeah.
defend myself.
Dude,
You
Lauren,
I would-
you can
you
just
do
fuck
not
off.
know the depth of everything. And I will tell you the depth
Kind
of
of.
everything. You don't know everything.
I saw the pictures that were transmitted over your webcam.
I don't
saw those.
care about the pictures that are
You should.
that. I should rephrase that. I do care about pictures that are transmitted because it was my fucking dick hanging out in the open for the world to see.
It wasn't for the world to see. It was for Kayla to see. That's why you had it
Listen.
there.
Don't think you know everything about all of it, because you don't. The only one that does know everything about all of it is me. The
Lauren,
only
I
one
don't
that
think
is
even
close to
you
knowing
know what's
all
going
of
on.
it.
Did
Honestly.
you not ask me to marry you
Earth.
and tell me that we're getting married?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Why?
Okay, so then why
I
aren't you
did.
telling me?
But listen to me.
Why?
Listen to me. Do you really think
What
that
do you get
I don't
out of
give
it,
a
Lauren?
flying fuck about
Oh,
material
I'm just-
bullshit.
Then why do you
Jesus
buy
Christ.
everything and try to
I
sell
care
it?
about a person. I care because of the goddamn yard sale. I'm frustrated as hell with you because the way you've been acting the last 2 days has been way thrown off.
Get thrown
And I
off.
want to know if you've been doing coke.
She fucking told you, didn't she?
It doesn't.
Obviously she did. How else would you know?
Well, probably because I got more sources.
Really?
It doesn't matter who it was. You promised me. Don't you even ask them, either one of them, if they told me. Because you promised me you would not do drugs. This
Lauren's.
is all on you.
Sorry, I have to pause this. Why is fucking Lauren so obsessed with like trying to trying to think of before I should have said something. Thought this out. It's like he thinks like alcohol. Like he always like downplays like someone like for instance like her with like drugs or something. He's like has like this like fucking high horse or whatnot. He needs to come down off his high horse, literally.
And I want to know why. That is not an excuse. Drugs is not a fucking way out. So don't use that as an excuse.
Where is
Being
alcohol, Lorne?
confused
Jesus
isn't an
fucking
excuse.
Christ. Fucking piece of shit.
You sure about that?
Drugs is not.
Not.
Do not fucking interrupt me when I'm trying to tell you.
Lauren,
Because you're not right by doing that.
I don't know.
I wouldn't do that to you. Don't laugh at me.
I will.
If you fucking laugh at me, I'll hang up.
I'm gonna hang up on you.
It just tells me that you're not serious about us.
It's not serious about us. Wow, 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 wow.
Drugs is not an excuse for anything. And I don't want drugs in my life.
What about being confused? I was confused, and that's why
I do not want fucking drugs in my life. It's plain
they're
and
not
simple.
in your life.
I am putting it plain and simple. I don't
Well, I'll
want
put
drugs
it
in my
plain
life.
and simple for you. Drugs are not
Go
in
ahead.
your life.
No. You did not do any drugs at all last night. To be honest with me, I want you to be honest with me. It doesn't mean that I'm going to fucking say goodbye to you right now if you did. Because you didn't know how I react to drugs last night. You didn't know how I was about the drug situation last night, because this is actually the first time that I'm putting a plain and simple to you about how I feel about this shit.
Are you sure?
Okay.
I want you to be honest with me. Did you do drugs last night? And be
Yes.
honest with me, because I'm not going to dump you if you're honest with me.
I said yes.
Okay. So what did you do?
Crack.
What else?
Meth.
Jesus fucking Christ. Tell me every drug that you fucking did. Don't make me ask for it. Just fucking tell me every fucking thing that you did.
Okay. Heroin, coke, meth, bath salts, Molly, Xanax. And then I took some Tylenol because I thought I was going to have a headache.
Thank you for being honest with me.
You're welcome.
But now I want to know why you did it when I asked you before to never do a drug.
Because I didn't know how you felt about it.
When I had already asked you not to do drugs, you knew how I felt about it.
You know I'm crazy.
So that's not an excuse. Do not give me a fucking answer of you know I'm crazy. Because if you tell me you know I'm crazy, it's just gonna be a fast exit for me.
Okay, well, let's talk about something else.
No, we're not gonna talk about something else except for
I'm
this.
not comfortable. I'm not comfortable talking about it.
Well, that's your problem because you put yourself here.
Lauren, I just want to come.
No, you want to start on that bullshit, I'll hang up on your ass.
What is it bullshit? I'm trying to be intimate with you.
You're not trying to be intimate when you're lying to me.
I'm not lying
Says
to
the
you.
virgin.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm fucking wet right now.
Yeah, well, get the fucking horny bullshit out of your head. Till we're done with this
It's
fucking
not in my
conversation.
head.
I don't know. I don't know if you understand what a real relationship is like. I am not going to go further with you until you can become completely honest with me.
You don't know anything
I'm bringing your
about my
kids
kids.
into this.
You don't know anything
Why?
about them.
I know you're hurting. I know you're hurting them.
You've never asked anything about my kids. Ever.
Don't get defensive with me about your kids when your dad is hurting your kids.
Jesus Christ.
He's not
Fucking
hurting them,
baloney
Lorne.
loving motherfucker.
You're fucking
You don't know
full
any-
of shit.
You don't know anything about my
He has
kids.
got control over you.
Jesus.
You're the only one that can pull your ass out of that.
Sorry.
What do you want?
I'm sorry, baby. I don't know why you're yelling
here we
at me.
go.
I didn't have sex or nothing.
Oh, but you sure have to put every fucking sexual bit of power you can into some guy you don't even fucking know that's
Going
just got
classy
fucking
today.
damaged.
Good old Bush Light.
He's not damaged. He just is disabled.
Step up
Everything
from
he's got
Lord.
to fucking do something sexual with somebody else just to piss me off. I was fucking working, so good fucking job.
Aw, come on. Don't be that way. I love you.
Well, yeah, you're proving it. I'm showing some other guy your pussy.
I didn't show him the whole pussy or even the pussy hole. Through your panties.
Oh, here you go. Go ahead. Here's your fucking chance. Bye.
And then. Oh, wow.
You done showing him your pussy?
I never showed it to him.
Oh, you just showed him part of them. What a great fucking job you're doing.
I didn't.
Good way to be fucking phoning me.
I didn't show him my pussy. Where are you getting that from?
You always said you showed him part of that.
He just saw it through my panties because I was holding the doll up.
Yeah, I saw it through your panties because you holding the doll up. You couldn't fucking keep your fucking down, could you? I had to lift you down up. Lift your fucking down up some more for other people.
I'm sorry.
You think it's so fucking funny?
No, I'm not. You're just
It's not very fucking funny to me.
There's no way that I'll ever marry somebody who yells at me as much as you do.
Maybe you should think about the stupid shit that you do.
It's not stupid.
You want me to be fucking cussing you? When you lift your fucking down up and show guys your pussy?
I didn't do that at
You
all.
fucking joking?
I didn't do that at all. I dropped the sidebar of my
You saw you lifted your fucking down up. You saw through your panties.
Are you done?
What's the purpose of lifting your fucking down up?
Are you done?
If you're a throw for some other guy to see your pussy.
Are you done?
If you were fucking throw, and then a harder time than keeping me.
Are you done?
One dad.
No, I'm not fucking done. I'm fucking pissed. You want to be just loyal to me, obviously. But you want me to trust you.
Collectively, we've spent about 5 minutes on the phone if you don't count the spaces in between where you've hung up on me like a little baby. And that,
Yeah, well, stop showing guys your fucking pussy.
and that whole,
We could have had a good fucking time if you would have stopped your stupid
Wonder how
bullshit
drunk Lord
with the
is right
kid
now.
next to you.
and the
You
whole,
had to fucking go bring it overboard.
and the whole time, I've been trying to explain to you calmly exactly what happened, but you keep yelling. So as soon as you're done, let me know.
Just start fucking yelling.
You already told me the shit that you did,
Nope.
so
Here we go.
Are you ready?
there's no way you can fucking change that shit.
Are you ready?
What?
I swung my legs around to hang off my bed, and I put the bar down so I could show him my punk rock Barbie that I took a picture of and sent it to you.
Hmm.
And I took it because Emma put the little pull string from an old doll she said in the letter. And I pulled it.
Come on,
And
87.
when I pulled it, her feet
Come on.
pulled my gown up. And I said, uh-oh, you saw my panties. And then I pulled the Barbie dress up so he could see the Barbie panties and the pubes that were drawn on. That's what you're jealous about? Are you fucking kidding
Okay,
me?
you had to make it mad. The fucking doll lifted your gown up. And oops, you saw my panties.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't fold the fucking gown underneath your legs, could you? Couldn't take every step possible to make sure the gown wasn't going to fucking fly off.
No, I don't really think about that when I move around in my bed because I'm in the hospital and everything. So, yeah, no, I couldn't take the great effort to do
That
that.
shit seems to happen a lot.
A lot.
It shit seems to happen a lot that you don't think about the stuff. Like here.
Isn't it?
Want to see my ass?
Yeah.
See my ass? I'm laying on my side. Want to see my ass?
Yeah, baby,
No.
I said.
For the love of everything holy, please. No.
Fucking bullshit needs to stop it with the sexual bullshit with other people.
I want to see your ass.
No. I don't think anyone.
Well, that's what you said to this kid.
I don't want to see his ass. He has to wear a diaper from now on and a colostomy bag. And
No, you want him to see your ass. You laid on your side and flung your gown up and said, here, you want to see my ass?
Derek, do you want to see my
You
ass?
don't remember that?
No! We're gonna make that guy mad again.
Or something.
Whatever. He's being a mad asshole.
You're mad assholes and the fiance won't stop with sexual bullshit
You're not my fiance anymore. I'm unfianceing
with
you.
other guys.
I'm just my boyfriend right now.
There it is.
How do you feel the need to make me jealous?
I'm not trying to make you jealous. I'm just being who I am, yo. Word to your mother. Good old gorilla face.
Bye, I'm tired of you fucking saying that, brother. Bye.
Bye.
What do you want?
I'm sorry.
Or what?
You're not sorry because you keep fucking doing it.
I'm just laying here.
I asked you to stop, and you keep fucking doing it. You sound like the fucking Church of God people. Calling my mother fucking names. Isn't that fucking smart?
I just do it to make you mad.
Wrong one.
Yeah, why the fuck would you want to do that?
Because he's so
That
cute.
makes literally no fucking sense.
Well, why do you
You're
want
calling a fucking elderly lady names. That sounds like fucking dumbasses from the Church of God does.
You're right.
Sound
But
like a
Fucking
dumbass.
retards.
I'm not calling her names to make her feel sad. I'm calling her names to make fun of you, baby. Because you get so mad. It's funny.
You need to fucking stop.
Why?
It is not funny when you call my mother fucking gorilla face.
Or not.
How about I call your mother fucking monkey
Oh, crap.
breath or fucking penguin face or fucking elephant butt? You don't care because you don't care about your mother. I care about my mother.
Call her buffalo butt like the Evans. Do you see Judah Bookman on Good
Oh,
Times.
walrus.
Do you remember that show with JJ?
Walrus face.
My mom's an elephant butt. My dad's
Lauren's
a
mom
buffalo
looks
butt.
like a walrus.
My husband's a jelly belly, big fat old bear butt, and his mom is a gorilla face. and Dan's just like a statue of a Greek god, but the Irish kind.
You need to stop doing things to piss me off. It's not funny.
I know.
Your shorts are so short this morning, baby. I'm looking at your cock head, and even your cock looks disappointed in your clothing choice.
What? Sorry?
I'm probably going to get cut off again because I'm in the same area I was before. First time, you got cut off.
Aww.
I'll call you right back. I will call you right back if we. I will call you right back if we get cut off.
Okay.
You're sorry. You just signed a fucking paper with Dan and Emma saying that you wouldn't show anybody that fucking video.
Oh, I forgot about that. It's a good thing I signed it as
Oh, gee, I forgot. You said fucking anxious to show them having sex. You forget what you signed, a legal fucking document. So you can get your ass in trouble. Delete that fucking video off your
Piece
phone.
of shit.
Tell that kid not to fucking say anything about it if you already
Jesus
showed it to him.
Christ.
Hey, you know that video I forwarded to your phone? You can't say anything about it. I have to delete it from mine now.
You did. Delete it from his phone, too.
Am I gonna be
Why
able?
you leave him the fucking home?
Am I gonna be able to fuck that chick?
Yeah, she's gonna come visit me tonight. Are you still gonna transfer
I
out?
think he's gonna be able to video. What the fuck? Son of a bitch, why do you fucking keep saying stupid shit?
I don't know. Like she's seeing some guy, but it might not be that serious.
Alright. Damn, look
You need to leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah, they're big, huh? Alright, I can't talk to you right now.
Alright, that's alright. I got something to do now.
Alright. Alright, baby. What's up?
You better stop doing stupid shit today. I'm telling you, I'm at my fucking wit's end right now.
What did I do?
All kinds of fucking stupid shit. You can't leave that fucking kid alone? Are you fucking serious? Leave him the fuck alone because you want him to show him sexual shit. Show him shit that you fucking signed a legal document on that you would never show anybody again. Why are you not fucking thinking?
I'm sorry.
Is sexual shit that important to you?
Always.
I want to see if I can make a quadriplegic hard because then it means I'm truly sexy.
Leave him the fuck alone. Leave him the fuck alone.
Say it one more
Leave
time.
everyone
Can you
alone.
say
He needs
Leave
that much
all
of you,
athletics
then break
alone.
up with me.
I don't want to do anything like that. I just wanted to see if I could make his pecker hard. It's science. It's not.
You ladies can never mind that fucking bullshit. You want me? Never mind other fucking guys. I'm tired of that fucking stupid shit.
Lorne
How do you
Armstrong.
not understand that?
Lorne
You
Armstrong.
gotta get yourself in trouble. You gotta get yourself in fucking trouble because you showed that fucking video to another fucking person. Now, if Emma doesn't do him a sexual favor, well, she showed me a video of you and your boyfriend, and I was hoping you'd do that with me. Huh. Not a whole lot of fucking thought process you're doing there.
She might like it.
Are you gonna like the lawsuit?
No. Hey, what can you do to my friend? Because your pecker doesn't work.
I lick her pussy till she comes.
Yeah, do that. Do it today when she comes.
Yeah, Well, how do you know your friend didn't even watch that? But she more likely she's not going to. He's a kid.
He's 19.
You need to leave the fucking kid alone.
He's going to be 20 in October 18th.
He's your daughter's fucking age, your son's age.
No, well, yeah, he's my son's age. That's true. My son's 19.
Everyone viewing, here we go.
Leave him alone.
Boom.
Bill, you just made him not sexy to me anymore. Thanks, Lorne.
If he's sexy to you, go ahead and have him. You can break up with me right now.
I don't want to break up with you.
You think I'm sexy?
No, I can't think anybody's sexy but
Believe
Lorne
in them.
Armstrong. He's the only sexy man in the world.
I used to be sexy.
Sorry, my cat
I know, but you're not
is in the
now
way.
because I'm in love with somebody else. So you can fuck my friend Emma. She'll fuck you. She pities people like you. So
Why would you say that?
The cat's an alcoholic.
It's just a pity fuck, baby.
Alex.
It's okay.
I'm telling you.
Oh, here we go.
I can't talk to you anymore. You happy now?
I would have been happy if you would have left him alone to begin with.
I have a burp inside of me. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. It came out silent. Hi.
What?
Hi.
Hi. I'm trying to get over being pissed off. You fucking stressed me right out.
Oh, you stress me right out.
You're yelling a lot. I love you, but gotta
What a
calm
piece
down.
of shit.
And then I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna put my foot in your ass if you say and then again.
And then...
It's me.
It's me, Mario.
Are you Debbie? What is your real name?
I love it when you cry.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you
Yeah,
love.
that's it.
What's your fucking real name?
Get him to stop yelling at me.
What's a
All right, bye.
Mario.
I
Oh, God, I should have
Crying
done
pedos
Mario
are
like
my
that.
favorite pedos.
Uh,
know. I like him too, kind of. It's like
Yeah.
when Starbucks brings up the pumpkin drinks and everybody pretends to be annoyed and they go buy one.
Oh no, I'm legit annoyed. I hate it.
I don't like them either,
I
but
think I'm the only one.
I don't hate them.
So I don't know why Lauren doesn't think that Debbie's my real name. All
He
I
probably-
want him to do is cry.
He probably wants your real name to be like George or something, so you can remind him of his
Rob.
teachers who used to molest him and make him
Or Richard.
special. Richard.
I was gonna be Richard. That would be good.
E-Crab or something.
I think that Lauren should be happy that Richard let Lauren suck his cock.
I think so too.
Let's call him and let him know.
What are you kid lover?
Hi.
What?
How are you?
Fuck there what?
Well, I've had bad days when my girlfriend wasn't trying to fuck a fucking 20-year-old.
Oh, but I'm not. But you keep saying that I am.
Better than a
though.
13-year-old.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Hey, Lauren.
Yeah, you
This-
are.
Lauren.
Just saying.
Yeah, you are.
Lauren, I'm 17. I'm going to call my sister right now so she can tell you the truth. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. She's going to tell
Cat,
the
what do
truth.
you have in your
Are you fucking kidding?
tail?
Like, I believe you're a fucking sister.
Hello?
You're fucking
Hello.
lying.
Hi.
How about let's
Hey.
call Emma.
Where did you go?
Let's call Emma.
Hi. I went to Panda Express and I was going to get,
Oh, nice.
I got us some food, but I'm sitting in the car and Lauren's yelling at me.
Oh, you're talking to Lauren.
He's really drunk.
I sent him a text before.
Isn't that fucking funny? How she's fucking part of that. Let's
Did you
call
get
Emma.
my text?
Did you get my text? You didn't.
Yeah.
Let's go, Emma. Fuck you. I don't know if I can talk you.
He's mad.
Why? Because he's a pedophile?
Yeah, he thinks I'm a pedophile because he thinks I fucked
Pedophile.
a 20-year-old. He's just mad because
Yeah,
he
that makes
can't get a 20-year-old.
Good old
He can't get
pedophile.
anything.
Come
And
here,
he's
you
fat. Let's call him and
pedophile.
remind him.
Good old
Okay.
Alonzo Wade. Good old pedophile. Yo, chomp chops.
Your sister had fucking concocted a plan.
Are you done? Because if you're done telling lies and accusing me, then I'll tell you the truth. But you keep up your bullshit. You're not going to get the truth.
Are you really going to tell me the truth? Because, you're supposedly going to tell me the truth several different fucking times.
Because you keep lying to me and telling me that you're not going to drink, so I'm punishing you.
Yeah, well, you told me you were going to cheat.
I didn't cheat, and I didn't.
You told me
I didn't cheat,
you were going to go
and I
to
didn't do coke. I didn't
do
cheat,
rehab.
and I went to rehab today.
You were going to go to
Went to
fucking
rehab.
rehab.
I checked in at
And you
12:07.
fucked me up
I went
today.
to rehab. I checked in at 12:07.
Fuck you. I'm
Yeah.
by your fucking side. Fuck you. I've been by your fucking side. Fuck you.
You can't talk because you're crying because you're a little bitch tulip. That's why your brothers chose you to give him a blowjob.
Oh boy. Here we go. What was that? Oh.
What's wrong?
What do you want? What do you want, Peter?
Why do you keep calling me that?
Because you're drunk and paranoid, Lauren.
I'm not
That's the only reason why.
You ain't proved it.
I ain't proved it?
I
Oh, because I told you what happened.
You have not proved it. There's your proper fucking English.
Oh, so what do you want
have
to
not
do?
fucking proved it.
So what do you want me to do? You want to come sniff my pussy? You want to come do that? That way you know?
Jesus.
What demeaning
Jesus,
way
Winnie.
am I going to prove it to you?
You don't care.
Uncle Lorne, how do you want me to prove it to you? Drunken fuck looking for a reason to drink because you're a fucking alcoholic and you dare to criticize me for doing something that you fucking do all the time against the fucking law.
Oh.
You're fucking drunk.
Oh. Cat. For the love of everything holy. What are you doing?
Hi.
Ma'am, what are you doing?
Hi.
Did you get permission from all your other fucking foes there to call me?
Foes?
My foes? Like baby deer? Oh, a foe.
Your sister, Victor.
A foe is opposite of a friend. Did you know that? Proper English? Did you know that? Maine public school? I don't know if you did. But no, I don't have any enemies here with me or friends. It's just me in the car. I came to get a burrito because now I can. Because I have my freedom, even though I'm in a relationship with you.
You mean...
Remember when Chris Hansen made fun of you because you couldn't fucking speak a word without stuttering? You fucking retard! Sorry. I want chopsticks with it!
Okay. Get down.
Are you done being
I'm sorry?
Are you done being a jackass?
Oh my
Oh,
God, he's a lot drunker.
I'm trying to be
Oh.
polite with you,
Oh.
but you keep hanging up on me like a little baby.
She's pointing.
Uh-huh.
Fuck to me.
I can't understand you because you're using a really bad phone with horrible service.
Well, whatever. You can still hear me.
Barely, actually. It's really difficult to make out what you're saying. And if you combine that with your obvious drunkenness, makes it even more difficult. I'm sorry.
Pretty easy to fucking understand.
What was that,
Homeboy, fucking
sweetie?
Victor.
What, honey?
Victor. Oh, you didn't hear me? You hear Victor, don't you?
Yeah.
Victor.
Because he can leave the state. Because he can leave the state.
Victor.
Oh, yeah.
Victor.
Yeah. Keep saying it. Oh, you think you're making me mad, but you're fucking turning me on.
Oh my God.
I answered your fucking boyfriend Victor there with you?
Hi, baby.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You must be talking to Victor.
Wow, you like to say his name a lot. That's really weird.
Yeah, well,
I'm not even.
you like to see it. You like to see his heart on a lot.
Yeah, okay.
Well, all right, you want to keep talking or whatever?
The louder you are, the more right you are, you fucking pedophile. Of course. Go ahead.
Pedophile. Fuck.
You need to stop hanging up on me and shouting Victor's name.
Every fucking time that you try to interrupt me and what I'm, every time that you try to interrupt me and what I'm, every time that you try to interrupt me and what I'm saying, I'm going to hang up.
Oh, okay. That's really mature, sweetie.
What do you care? You have Victor that you're going home to.
I want to push the hang up button and start all over because you're just yelling again about Victor. I don't understand what your problem is. Can you help me understand?
Maybe shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay.
So you can hear something.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't shut up at all.
Oh, okay.
I'll be
That's
right
great.
back, y'all.
Imagine. Just imagine. What would Maria say if she could hear you talking to me like this? She'd probably think it was abusive, wouldn't she?
Like you're not recording me right now?
Would she? Wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? Right? She'd like this a lot, huh?
I'm sorry, the person.
What do you want, Victor?
Hello? Hi. How you doing?
What do you want? What do you want, Victor?
Oh, I'm not Victor, silly. As
All
much as you
right,
probably
back
want
girl.
Victor to call you because you're gay. It's all you've been talking about.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Why do you have a
Victor
crush?
is the guy that Victor is the guy that you gave blowjob to last night.
Oh, I did? Did he like it? I didn't know that. Wow.
You know, by the way you act, it's obvious that you did.
Oh, really? How do you act like you just gave a blowjob? That way I can act like that all the time.
What do you want?
I love you.
Don't fucking lie to me. You don't fucking love me. If you love me, you would say stupid shit to me, and you wouldn't do stupid shit to me. You certainly wouldn't have a fucking 20-year-old smoking joints with him You would not miss fucking rehab.
Better than a 13-year-old.
Which is fucking critical.
Just saying.
Okay.
To me and you.
Okay,
Don't tell me you love me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't know that was something that I had to not do. I apologize for my transgressions.
Yeah, well, you love me. You actually put some fucking effort into getting better. And you didn't know.
She's an African.
Which means you don't love me.
I'm sorry that you got so drunk that you started convincing yourself that I was cheating on you. How many beers did you have?
Wouldn't deny it if he said African. This my Missouri hearing.
Hello?
Hi, why do you keep hanging up on me? I don't understand.
I did not hang up on you. I was still saying hello, and
Oh, it must be your phone.
Again.
Because your phone really is really difficult to hear.
Where's your sister?
In the other room.
Fucking a guy.
No. That's not all women do.
Real responsible person.
Sounds like a fucking chainsaw.
She's probably just hanging out.
Where are you?
Trying to.
Where are you?
I don't know. Where do you think I am?
How many guys are around you?
20. That's the minimum number for a bukkake party.
Oh, just Victor?
What, in your sphincter? No, honey. It's not like how it was in jail.
Is it just Victor?
Oh.
Your boyfriend?
No, as I said earlier, before your drunkenness wiped away our conversation, Victor went home this morning.
Before your stupid bullshit of missing fucking rehab?
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you. What else? Oh, that's interesting.
Where?
Who?
Oh, what? What was you going to say? What was you going to say? That's a little interesting to me.
What? Okay, sing to me. I can't understand what you're saying. Maybe your mom shouldn't. Maybe your mom shouldn't have used this phone inside her pussy to get all that before she gave it to you. You fucking cunt rocket.
Lorne half the time sounds like
You
a
ugly,
fucking
mouthy-faced, mongoloid, retard. Nobody wants you. Your mom should have aborted you. You ugly fuck.
Just saying.
I've never wished death on anybody as often as I do on you.
I really wish for Lorne. Really. I really wish Lorne was. In a way. Just saying. That's all I got.
Hi.
Stop lying to me.
Who's lying? You keep hanging up on me and yelling at me. I don't know what to do.
You're gonna stop lying to me.
I am? Okay.
Can't even fucking see that. Oh, it's almost like it's no fucking use.
What? Your mom likes abuse?
You don't even give a fuck about me.
Yeah, I do. I tried all night, but you called me a slut and a whore, and you did all sorts of other stuff that was really offensive. So I'm actually questioning whether you love me, because you think I'm having sex with somebody, but I'm not. Right, stupid? Hi.
What? What?
Hi.
Hi.
This guy.
Are you done being mean to me or no?
I don't say anything. So you already got your fucking toy, and you got everything you want. You got your boy toy, you got your fucking drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking matter.
Oh, okay.
You didn't do that.
You're making it pretty clear.
I am. I keep calling you back and talking sweetly to you.
Lauren,
You keep calling
really
me a
don't
whore and
matter.
saying I'm cheating. Who's the one who's not
trying to
being
run out the clock on you
behaved
at this
tonight?
point.
Are you not? Are you not? Are you
Just
gonna
throwing
fucking
it
really
the
tell me you're
same.
not?
No.
You want to spend a whole fucking day with a goddamn fucking 20-year-old? Are you fucking kidding me?
I didn't spend all day with him. I think you're stupid.
You didn't have a fucking thing to do with me today.
Uh-huh.
You were busy with a goddamn 20-year-old. Fuck you.
Oh, I was at the doctor and I fucked your mom in her pussy. Mama Gwen's pussy tastes like fish, bitch.
With that catfish taste.
Are you a fucking 20-year-old fucking kid lover?
Hi.
How many times did you see his fucking pecker? Did you fuck him?
No. Actually, we're closer in age than you were when you tried to fuck that 13-year-old little girl who wasn't an adult yet.
Really? You're fucking
Well.
35.
Right.
Got a point.
Who cares if it's closer in age?
Oh, okay, because you were going to try to do math.
Because if he spent the night in your fucking house, you saw his fucking heart on.
Oh, okay.
With me on the fucking phone.
I know. Was that your favorite part?
What do you want? What?
I want to why you keep hanging up on me and yelling at me, please.
What?
Why do you keep hanging up on and yelling at me, please?
Because you're being a fucking piece of shit.
Oh, okay.
You are literally being... You are literally being a piece of shit.
Do you know what literally means or no? Do you?
What?
You know what literally means?
Do I what? Do I what?
Do you know what literally means, stupid?
And don't give me that goddamn stupid fucking bullshit.
You called me a literal piece of shit. All I did was tell you I didn't cheat. And now you're disappointed that I didn't cheat because you probably wanted to think of another guy's cock.
Yeah.
So you could leave me.
How do I know how do I know you did not cheat? Because you hung up on me shooting fast last night.
Because I told you. 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 That was a long one. Wow.
I can't believe Woody.
That was longer than your pecker will ever be, you fucking ugly bitch.
Got him to do that.
All right, bye.
Bye, pedophile.
Sounds like a little fucking crop duster. Duck face. The cock fuck.
Hi, baby.
It amazes me that I still answer your fucking calls when you say the dumbest fucking stupid fucking shit.
Oh, really? Like you're cheating on me when I'm not? Like the stupid shit you say, or no?
Well, like you know you're cheating on me.
I do? I am? Wow.
Kind of obvious.
I
You
wish,
invite a fucking 20-year-old over your house.
I wish I would have remembered it. I'd sure like to come right now.
Compliment a fucking 20-year-old on his hard on when you're 35 years old.
Okay, hold on. I'll call him right now.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Not anybody you want. I want to hear this fucking homie ass bullshit that you have fucking lusted over.
What? Hold on. I'm trying to add a call. Stop yelling at me.
Oh, no, you always want to have some fucking guy's call. We'll fucking talk.
Really?
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 You made it a point to.
Okay, thank you. I didn't understand how it worked until you explained it to me, baby. You're so smart.
Well, you care about his fucking dick. You don't care about me.
Really? I didn't know I cared about Dick because I didn't even care about Dick earlier or even right now. If I cared about Dick, I wouldn't be with you because you hardly have a dick.
Well, that is true.
That's all you do is start teasing me with dick, so that's all you care about is dick.
No, I don't tease you with
You don't
Dick.
care about me.
I didn't
care about me.
I didn't flirt
you
with
don't care
him.
about me.
I didn't have
you care about
sex.
teasing me.
I didn't kiss.
You don't care. You do not care about me. You care about teasing me with dick. There you go.
Eat me out.
Who wants to put her on the fucking frying pan?
I can't. You got too many dicks in a row.
Just kidding. We love you, Isa. String cat.
And I'm not gonna catch some fucking disease at that many dicks fucking eat you out.
What?
I said, I am not going to catch a disease that's at that many dicks eat you out.
I don't think you understand what you're saying. Are you just jealous because I'm not a virgin like you?
You better stop your fucking bits of fucking stupid bullshit. Because you're the fucking one that did this last night.
Uh-huh.
A 20-fucking-year-old in your fucking house bringing you toilet paper. You seen with a fucking hard on.
Okay.
Fuck you. I'm going out tomorrow night. And fuck you and what you think. And one night I go out fucking tomorrow night.
I'd like to see you try to go out tomorrow and pick up on somebody without having to rape them or pay them.
Yep.
Hi.
What do you want?
I want to know why you keep hanging up on me.
What do you want, cheater? What do you want, cheater? What do you want, cheater?
I want to know why you're being so cruel to me, besides the fact that you're drunk.
What do you want, cheater?
What do you want, cheater?
What do you want, cheater?
Do you want your mom's pussy, you pedophile, incest-obsessed fucking freak? Or you want your brother Richard again? Which one has the better tasting asshole? I know your whole family used to fuck, you fucking pig. That's why nobody wants you. They can tell as soon as they look at you. He fucked his brother. Or even worse, his brother fucked him.
Damn, son.
I know why you're so upset.
Why would you ever include my fucking mom and shit?
What?
What is wrong with you?
Well, I know why you're so upset. I think I figured it out, baby, and that, like, your source of anger is important so we can work on it. Everybody in town. Everybody in
Shut
town.
up, listen. Rush.
Uh-huh. Everybody
How
in...
much coke have you done?
Uh-huh.
How much coke have you done?
So
How much
everybody in
alcohol have
town
you
knew
drank,
you as the
Lorne?
little boy who would blow anybody who asked. But then when you grew up, you lost that title and you became Mr. Penis. You didn't like that as much. I'm sorry that happened to you, baby. Aw, I wonder what happened.
This is hilarious. I'm just gonna let you keep talking.
Mm-hmm. And what else?
Let's see how far you can bury yourself.
Okay. Sounds like something a serial killer sex offender would say. Pretty
Yeah.
consistent. Thank you, Maine. Good thing you let this one out on the streets.
Oh, don't worry, I'm still here listening.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. You got more than that.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm just standing here waiting for you to finish blubbering. Blabbering. Blithering.
Blubbering.
Oh,
Blabbering.
come on. You can do more than that, 20-year-old fucking Disney lover.
Jism lover, why are you calling me such sexual insults? I don't understand what I did to deserve that.
You sucking at 20-year-old Jism last night.
Maybe
I'm significantly younger than you.
And this morning,
Lorne.
you are significantly younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
But the 20-year-old is significantly younger than you. And you should love spending a lot of fucking time with him.
Hello?
I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
Oh. How are you?
I've had better days.
Oh, okay.
I've had days where I didn't know where I knew that my girlfriend was not fucking around on me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not, but you never really asked me. You just assumed that I was, and then you won't listen to me.
I can't hear you.
Else, so you can go ahead and think that,
I
baby.
cannot.
Uh-huh.
I didn't hear anything that you just said.
Oh, okay.
Literally, I did not hear anything that you just said. I heard a lot of mumbling.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it'll work better if you don't talk while I'm talking. That way, you'll be able to hear what I'm saying. How's that? Okay, baby?
Okay, I'll try that. All right, I'll try that.
All
Good
right.
compromise.
So today I got up and I was throwing up a lot. I didn't feel very good. And when I went to the doctor, they told me that I have the same gastrointestinal infection that Rhoda has. However, there's really nothing they can do for it except for give me Pepto-Bismol and tell me to eat dry toast. So after I was done at Dr. Michi's, I went over and I checked in for the half day at rehab. Then they gave me supplemental work to complete. And that's what I was doing tonight. It's on de-escalation and communication. And that's what I'm trying to do tonight. But it's not working on you because you keep yelling at me. I'm trying my best to follow these rules in the pamphlet, but they don't work because my boyfriend keeps yelling at me and I can't seem to get him to listen to me while we're talking. So that's what I'm having a problem with right now. But I'm going to stop talking because I'm feeling emotional and I will go ahead and give you a chance to respond, okay?
Where's Victor?
I don't know because this morning when I went to the doctor, he was walking home.
Stop the crying. You got no reason to fucking cry.
Well, you're yelling at me and you keep telling me I suck his cock and you called me a bitch. I'm not doing anything wrong and I don't feel like it's fair for you to treat me that way. I don't feel like I did anything to warrant that. Maybe you got upset with me for having company overnight, and I agree. Like, I can understand why you'd be offended at that, but I didn't do any of the things you're accusing me of doing.
All right, enough.
Oh, okay.
Listen to me.
Okay.
You get jealous of girls being around me.
No.
And you don't think that I'm gonna get fucking pissed off about guys being around you?
So is this normal behavior
bullshit.
then? So is this normal, or should I expect this forever, or what? Whenever I'm talking to somebody who might be a male, should I expect this to be yelled at and accused of cheating and having a blowjob with a little boy? Is that what you think is appropriate?
You mean a 20-year-old little boy?
That's what you were calling him, yeah. You were calling me a pedophile, so I adopted your language and definitions so we could have an operational definition for our conversation as suggested in my pamphlet.
Did you give him a blowjob? No, you know, stupid bullshit on me. Fuck you.
You don't want me to take rehab seriously and use my new skills?
You don't play a goddamn game. Fuck you.
You don't want me to take rehab
you're
seriously?
You're not playing this fucking game with.
You don't want to
Get away from fucking
You
Savior.
don't want me to take
Get away
you
from
don't want
fucking
me to
Savior.
take you don't want me to take you don't want me to take rehab seriously and try out my new skills?
Oh. Damn it.
Why?
What? What?
Oh, you hung up on me.
Excuse me.
And called me Xavier.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that's very fair.
I did
because
fucking hang up on you.
You got upset because I was telling you the truth.
Shut up!
And because you're yelling at me?
All right, bye.
Oh, okay, bye, you fucking dick.
What?
Hi. How are you?
Don't fucking ever try to fucking do that.
Try to do what to you again? Use my homework and take rehab seriously?
Don't
Avoid
fucking
getting
do
yelled
that
at by
shit
you?
again.
Which one is that? I'm not sure. Can you help me?
You want some clarity? You're never gonna do that shit again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were trying to pronounce through your drunkenness. Can you please try that?
You ever fucking do that shit again, I'm just gonna call you Xavier.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're referring to. Are you talking about being honest with me?
What do you want, cheater?
What do you want, cheater?
Hi. I'm not a cheater.
What do you want, cheater?
All right.
Oh, it's all right, bye.
Hello?
Oh. Hello, darkness, my old
Why does this keep
friend.
happening?
Lorne has technology issues, that's why.
What's wrong?
What do you want? What do you want, cheater?
Why do you keep calling me that?
I'm not going to stop calling you that. You ain't proved it.
I ain't proved it? Oh,
Hey,
because I told you what happened.
You have not proved it. There's your proper fucking English.
Oh, so what do you want
You have not fucking proved it.
So what do you want me to do? You want to come sniff my pussy? You want to come do that? That way you know? What demeaning way
Whatever.
am I going to prove it to you?
You don't care.
Uncle Lorne, how do you want me to prove it to you? Drunken fuck looking for a reason to drink because you're a fucking alcoholic and you dare to criticize me for doing something that you fucking do all the time against the fucking law, you fucking drunk.
So we're right back, y'all, again.
Hi.
What?
Hi.
Did you get permission from all your other fucking foes there to call me?
My foes? Like baby deer? Oh, a foe.
Your sister, Victor.
A foe is opposite of a friend. Did you know that? Proper English? Did you know that? Maine public school? I don't know if you did. But no, I don't have any enemies here with me or friends. It's just me in the car. I came to get a burrito because now I can. Because I have my freedom, even though I'm in a relationship with you.
You mean...
Remember when Chris Hansen made fun of you because you couldn't fucking speak a word without stuttering?
Are you done being
I'm sorry?
Are you done being a jackass?
I'm trying to be polite with you, but you keep hanging up on me like a little baby.
Keep point.
Uh-huh.
Fuck me.
I can't understand you because you're using a really bad phone with horrible service.
Well, whatever. You can still hear me.
Barely, actually. It's really difficult to make out what you're saying. And if you combine that with your obvious drunkenness, makes it even more difficult. I'm sorry.
Pretty easy to fucking understand.
What was that,
fucking
sweetie?
Victor.
What, honey?
Well, you didn't hear me, but you hear Victor, don't you?
Yeah.
Victor.
Because he can leave the state. Because he can leave the state.
Victor.
Oh, yeah.
Victor.
Yeah. Keep saying it. Oh, you think you're making me mad, but you're fucking turning me on.
I answered your fucking boyfriend Victor there with you?
Hi, baby.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You must be talking to Victor.
Wow, you like to say his name a lot. That's really weird.
Yeah, well,
I'm not even...
You like to see it. You like to see his heart on a lot.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right, you want to keep talking or whatever?
The louder you are, the more right you are, you fucking pedophile. Of course. Go ahead. You need to stop hanging up on me and shouting Victor's name.
Every fucking time that you try to interrupt me and what I'm... Every time that you try to interrupt me and what I'm... Every time that you try to interrupt me and what I'm saying, I'm going to hang up.
Oh, okay. That's really mature, sweetie.
What do you care? You have Victor that you're going home to.
I want to push the hang up button and start all over because you're just yelling again about Victor. I don't understand what your problem is. Can you help me understand?
Maybe you ought to shut the fuck up.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can hear something.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't shut up at all.
Oh, okay. That's great. Imagine. Just imagine. What would Maria say if she could hear you talking to me like this? She'd probably think it was
Well, gee,
abusive, wouldn't she?
Like you're not recording me right now?
Would she? Wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? Right? She'd like this a lot, huh?
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box set. Please try your call again later. Goodbye.
God. Hate you. Hello?
What do you want, Victor?
Hello? Hi. How you doing?
What do you want? What do you want, Victor?
Oh, I'm not Victor, silly. As much as you probably want Victor to call you because you're gay. It's all you've been talking about.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Why do you have a crush?
Victor's the guy you gave blowjob to last night.
Oh, I did? Did he like it? I didn't know that. Wow.
You know, by the way you act, it's obvious that you did.
Oh, really? How do you act like you just gave a blowjob? That way I can act like that all the time.
What do you want?
I love you.
Don't fucking lie to me. You don't fucking love me. If you love me, you would say stupid shit to me, and you wouldn't do stupid shit to me. You certainly wouldn't have a fucking 20-year-old smoking joints with him. You would not miss fucking rehab, which is fucking critical to me and you.
Okay.
So tell me you love me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I won't. I didn't know that that was something that I had to not do. I apologize for my transgressions.
Yeah, well, you love me. You actually put some fucking effort into getting better, and you're not. Which means you don't love me.
I'm sorry that you got so drunk that you started convincing yourself that I was cheating on you. How many beers did you have? Oh, okay.
Hello?
Hi, why do you keep hanging up on me? I don't understand.
I did not hang up on you. I was still singing. Hello, Lynn.
Oh, it must be your phone.
Again.
Because your phone really is really difficult to hear.
Where's your sister?
In the other room.
Fucking a guy.
No. That's not all women do.
Real responsible person.
No. She's probably just hanging out.
Where are you? Where are you?
I don't know. Where do you think I am?
How many guys are around you?
Baby, can you at least text me or something? Let me know what's going on. Call me back. Something. Tell me something, okay? I love you. Bye. Please. Better cancel that fucking party if you ever want to come out and see me. You know that shit's not going to go over good with Emma. Start using your fucking head. Yeah, no, this has been too many times you know you're answering the fucking phone. And you've answered the fucking phone. You're fucking cheating on me. Don't tell me you're not fucking cheating on me. Because if I called and you were actually paying attention to the fucking phone, you'd be fucking answering the goddamn thing. Instead, you got some fucking guys there that you're fucking cuddling up to and fucking being all fucking flirty ass with. And this fucking house. Fuck you. I don't mean shit to you, fucking asshole. can't get that fucking guy's hands off you long enough to answer my fucking call, huh? Well, ain't that a fucking great thing when you're at a place where you're not supposed to have any fucking guy there? With a party at a fucking place they're not supposed to have anybody over at. Great fucking job. Thanks for cheating on me. You say shit to me about running away, and then I ask you a question, and you hang up, and I call you back, and you don't answer the phone. I kind of call that running away. Hey, baby, I need you to give me a call back as soon as you can, okay? I just got on talking to a lawyer, and I found out some information that I never knew, and I could get a fuckload of people in trouble. And so I really need you to give me a call back, okay? Love you. Bye. Damn, baby, it's almost 11 o'clock there. I didn't figure you'd be sleeping this long. I figured you'd call me back. Call me back, please. You're fucking cheating on me. That's why you had your mother answer the goddamn phone. Well, I'm kind of wondering what to say. I don't know. Not real comfortable with everything that's going on. It all seems extremely fucked up. So, whatever. You guys can all play whatever game you want if I can play. But all the fucking bullshit that's happened has been way too fucked up for it to be an actual fucking thing that is fucking happening. So, whatever. I just happened to look at my phone and it said one missed call, and I looked at it. Said you called me a minute ago, so I called you back, but you're not answering, so I guess you found someone else to talk to. Well, call me back if you want to. Good morning, my love. Love of my life. My little upset woman. Just relax, honey. We'll be together. Just calm down and relax. Give me a call when you wake up, okay? I love you. I'm going to get in the shower shortly here. I know you probably don't want another picture of me in the shower, but maybe it'll help you. It might help you so that way you'll know exactly what I look like this morning. Because you would have seen me this morning in person if you were here. So you're not here, but you will be here shortly. So sorry, honey, I had to stretch. So maybe if I take a shower, take pictures when I get in the shower and all that stuff, maybe it'll help you so you'll feel better. That way you'll feel a little bit more like you're here with me. I wish you were here with me. But very, very shortly you will, because it doesn't take that long for passport IDs to come through. A beautiful woman. Oh, I can't wait until I can be laying right there with you and holding you. Mwah. I love you. Call me back when you wake up, okay, honey? Bye. Hey, baby. Emma just called me and told me what's up. If you can rebook and get on regular coach, please do it. Don't even think about it. You don't need first class anyway. The regular coach is just fine as long. The only thing you're trying to do is get here to me. Please get here. I love you. Please make this easy and just get on coach. Bye. And call me back, please. Bye. Your other phone has been cut off. So I figured you probably had this number, but you're not answering this number either. So whatever. Called me with a private number earlier today. Haven't heard from you since. So you probably called Dan 1,000 times. Whatever. Hi, baby. I'm calling you back. I woke up and you called me earlier this morning, but I couldn't find my headset in time before you hung up. I figured you'd call again, but you didn't. Call me back, please. I love you and I miss you. Bye. Hello. A little word as soon as you could possibly get it to me will do a lot of good. I don't know if you're coming, if you're there. I don't know what the hell is going on. Bye. Hi, baby. Let's call and make sure you're up, you're awake. So you can jump on that plane and get your beautiful ass out here to see me. Give me a call back. Okay? Love you. Bye. Unbelievable. I didn't mean to hang up on you, baby. After this many times of calling you, I know goddamn well your fucking phone has been ringing. You've been able to fucking hear it. You haven't answered any of my fucking calls tonight. Haven't called me back. And I also noticed you haven't been spending as much time with me as what you used to. So, whatever. Do whatever you're doing, and I'll fucking do whatever I do. Come on over here and lay by my side. I've got to be touching you. Let me rest your tired shoulders the way you used to do. Look into my eye and give me that smile, the one that always turns me on. And let me take your hair down till it's late enough to face the dawn. And when your body's had enough of me and I'm laying flat out on the floor, when you think I've loved you all I can, I'm gonna love you a little bit more. I love you, baby. Call me back, please. I tried calling Emma. She wouldn't answer my call. More likely because of crap that you told her. Her trying not to disrespect you. So I can't talk to a friend because you're afraid she's trying to make moves on me. So call me back. I mean, it's like what? Fucking not very late there. It's 9 o'clock here, so it's 6 o'clock there. And you don't answer the phone, so whatever. Alright, bye. Gets quite obvious you got your attention on some fucking guy so you can't answer your goddamn phone.
Baby, please call me as soon as you can. As soon as you wake up. I really want to talk to you. I'm upset about last night, and I'm upset about the way I acted and how I was, and about the whole day, the whole way the day went yesterday. I'm never going to leave you. I'm never going to break up with you. I don't ever want you to think that.
Probably the last Lorne call of the night.
I love you too fucking much.
Y'all. Got
It
some
would
more.
kill me if I broke up with you.
You got some different calls later.
I don't want to live without you.
For this. We're done.
Just mean everything to me.
Stick around. Put some paranormal
call me
calls,
when
actually.
as soon as you wake up. Okay?
Videos.
I love you.
This is late at night. Why not?
Baby, please call me back.
Baby,
Even if we're just on the phone so that I can be close to you. I don't want you to cry. I love you so fucking much, I don't want you to cry. Please call me back.
Fucking cry, bitch.
That way, none of the videos that I send you are on there, and even your pussy picture is off my phone. From now on, we can only send decent pictures. Okay, until we're together. As much as I hate it. But give me a call when you wake up or when you get this message, okay? I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Alright. Now that I can talk, now that your beep has fucking come through, I don't know what fucking thrill have you gotten out of fucking playing with me? What possible fucking thrill could you have fucking gotten out of playing with me? Is your life that fucking sad that you want to fucking play with me? Because you've done it for almost 6 fucking months now. Yep, I just fucking sneezed. I must be fucking allergic to fucking bullshit.
I love it. I love it.
The fucking bullshit that Emma fucking hands out.
Yep, must be allergic to your
If
fucking
Emma fucking cared about me,
bullshit.
she would have fucking answered my fucking calls. So I don't hear any fucking bullshit about Emma. But you, on the other hand, I fucking fell in love with you. There's nothing I can say, because I didn't fucking do anything, start anything tonight. You did. I left fucking Ellen's house all fucking high on you. And you fucking brought me down fast. Great fucking job. So happy to see that you fucking care about me. Yeah, what a fucking great fucking girlfriend. Well, last time you left me a message was at 5:14 a.m. my time. That means you didn't go to bed until around, or it was around fucking 2:30 that you went to bed.
You can do math, Lorne.
It's obvious you put some time into writing that song. I don't know why the fuck you couldn't have written a song that would have actually, said something decent in it. Instead of fucking trying to make fun of my mother. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck are you thinking? I don't know why the fuck you're doing the shit that you're doing. This fucking bullshit that you and Emma pulled last night. Emma with her bullshit not answering my fucking calls because you telling her not to call me. It's fucking horseshit. No, I don't care to hear from fucking Emma at all. I don't give a fuck at all.
I don't give a fuck.
She fucking put this shit here in front of us, so fuck it. She can do without my friendship. I don't care. I'm tired of the fucking games. And this fucking bullshit that you pulled with me last night. When I left Ellen's and I called you, I was trying to be nice and not give you a hard time about anything, but you just couldn't fucking help it. You had to find some fucking way to piss me off. So, of course, you had to mention fucking, you mentioned Dan last night. You mentioned Dan's cock. Of course. Anything you can do to piss Lorne off when he's drunk, especially.
Because it's easy
Something,
to piss you
I don't know,
off,
maybe to get recording. God fucking knows. I'm tired of that fucking horse shit. You give a fuck about me and you want me?
Horse shit.
Then fucking show it.
Worse.
Stop trying to fucking tease me with other fucking guys. I'm fucking tired of that bullshit.
Bullshit.
It just tells me that you don't give a fuck about the way I feel.
Well, we don't really care about
Have
what
a
you
great
feel,
fucking
Lorne.
morning sleeping. I'm sure you'll fucking sleep up till fucking noon, at least. After all the fucking time you put in that fucking pathetic song you wrote about my mother. Bye. Alright, I just got another beep again. So I'm not sure which beep is actually leaving you a message.
That damn cat.
So I'm going to say it again.
Really bad.
Hi, baby. It's me.
Baby.
I'm home. I just wanted to go and talk to you a little bit more. See how you're doing. See how you're feeling. I love you. Give me a call back, okay? Bye. Guess it's time to leave fucking messages to all the Church of God group. Winnie does not want me because she's been too involved with the Church of God that she can't handle an actual fucking relationship. Hi, sweetheart, it's me. I'd be calling you in case you can't get hold of me, but I'm not getting you either. What the hell? All right. Call me when you get the chance. All right? Bye. Whatever, you call me, I'm calling you back. I missed your fucking call, so what the fuck ever.
Oh, my God.
You must be on the other line to fucking Xavier. So, let me give you this extra little fucking story. I was sitting on a fucking patio.
I'm Xavier.
At my brother's apartment when I was living with him. And my two nieces, and my niece is the nephew. And I was sitting out there with my brother. And my niece walked out with them fucking shorts on. And then she walked back in the house, and my sister-in-law walked out. And I asked my sister-in-law, where the hell did she get them shorts on? Why would you let her wear them? And my sister-in-law said, you're the one that bought them for him.
Be right back again, y'all. Sorry.
Or for her. And I said, no, I never fucking bought her them fucking shorts. She said, yeah, you did. And that's why I said, she must have fucking snuck him in the car when we were at Kmart because she never asked me to buy them things. So there you go. So much for you knowing all of fucking everything. You fucking disgusting fucking thoughts. Fuck you and fuck Xavier. Fuck you both. Fucking pathetic bullshit. Fuck you. Continues ignoring my calls. Yeah, that's fucking different. I'm seriously having thoughts that maybe we should break up because you can't stop your stupid bullshit talking about fucking Dan. You want to discuss it and talk about it and not break up, then give me a call so we can fucking discuss it because I'm tired of you fucking talking about Dan and buying and shit, buying any crap that has his fucking initials on it. I'm tired of all that fucking bullshit, and you just keep pouring it on. So if you want to not break up, give me a call so we can discuss it. Because this bullshit's going to stop one way or another. You bet if I was Dan calling you, you'd answer the fucking phone, wouldn't you?
Fucking Dan.
As many times as I've tried to call you since you texted me, and it was not very long ago that you texted me, like maybe 2 hours, I say, you're fucking right when you think that I might think that something is wrong. So maybe you're hanging on some guy's arm. Or whatever the fuck is going on. But it does not take that long for you to fucking answer your phone or call me back or text me. So whatever is going on tonight, I know you're doing something fucked up. Thanks a lot. I know you listen to my fucking voicemails, so I'm telling you right now. I know goddamn well you're fucking using drugs. You are right back on fucking coke. You obviously don't give a flying fuck about me. I don't know who the fuck
about you, Lorne.
you're gonna sleep with tonight. But it's obvious it's not me. And you've been pulling shit the last couple of days that tells me you just want to get fucked. And you've even told me right out fucking straight that you just want to get fucked. You didn't give a fuck who it was. That tells me that I don't mean fucking shit to you. Well, you cut my phone call off early.
Oh,
at the fucking 2 rings. So that tells me you cut it off on purpose. So you obviously don't want to talk to me. You got something else going on. Been fucking hiding from me all fucking day, so what the fuck ever.
Alright, y'all. I'm gonna change it over to something else. Yeah. Some good old... It's late at night. We're gonna do some... as well. I like it. And... yeah. We're gonna do some paranormal stuff. Stories, really. From one of my favorite YouTubers. So yeah, let's hop right into it. His name is Mr. Ballin, if anyone is curious. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out which one to start off with. Let's go with this one.
Every year, hundreds of people go
We're gonna go. Wrong one. All right. Oh.
missing inside of national parks and forests all over North America. Of those hundreds of missing people, there's always a few that are particularly strange, that there isn't a rational explanation for how they went missing or where they were discovered. One man named David Paulides, who's a former police detective, made it his mission to start investigating these strange disappearances. And after spending thousands of hours researching them, he saw that there were clusters of areas all over North America where lots of people were going missing under these strange circumstances, and no one was any bit closer to figuring out what happened to these people or why. David,
before we start this video, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very into like cryptid stuff, like Bigfoot, Nessie, bunch of them and stuff. I really like them, and stuff. I genuinely really enjoy like listening to stories like this and stuff, because I don't know why, I really do. Because it also gives you like a sense of like maybe there is something out there that we haven't discovered yet. I don't know. But I just am really, really into like the paranormal, cryptid stuff, other than like TCAP and everything. But yeah. Yeah, this is what we're going to finish off the night with, is a couple of these stories tonight. So yeah, enjoy.
David Paulides began compiling what he was finding about all these strange cases and putting them into a book series that he calls Missing 411. I went out and purchased all of them. There's like 9 books. because I'm totally fascinated by the missing 411 phenomenon, and I want to continue to read through all of the research that he's done and find some very interesting cases that I can share with you all on my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to focus on 3 stories that all come out of Colorado, and in each story, it's as if someone or something literally picked these people up and moved them great distances to places that they would not have been able to access on their own. But before we get into today's Missing 411 stories, if you're a fan of Missing 411 or just everything strange, dark, and mysterious, then you've come to the right channel, because that's all I post about, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, I would encourage you to sneak into the like button's home and replace all of their family photos with pictures of Steve Buscemi. Also, please subscribe to my channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories.
Let's go. Really excited.
In 1981, Maurice Doc Demetz was an 84-year-old man living in Colorado. He was a lifelong minister, had a PhD in theology. He also had a blood condition, and he had arthritis in his knees that made it almost impossible for him to walk without assistance. He had always been really passionate about topaz hunting. He would go to these sites where you could dig into the ground and look for these rocks. When you broke them open, you could potentially find topaz. And he loved doing that. Because of his knees and because of his blood condition, he needed someone to go with him, to walk him around to the different dig sites, and to help him get back into the car and drive him back to his house. Doc had a friend named David McSherry. He wound up being the primary guy that would go with Doc anytime he went topaz hunting. On April 29th, 1981, Doc decides he wants to go topaz hunting. So he calls up David, and they load up David's car, and they head off to Pike National Forest, which was a spot they had gone many times before. And they had this one area that they used to love going in particular called Devil's Head. Locals in the area claimed that that spot was actually haunted by evil spirits. But to Doc and to David, there was no indication that they bought into any of that, and they went there all the time. When they got there on April 29th at 10 a.m., they got out, they went to their favorite dig sites. David actually walked Doc down this hill to this one little clearing. Doc had a backpack with him full of the tools he used to dig out the different rocks. After David had walked Doc to this spot, David walked back up the hill towards their car and went about 50 yards away from where Doc was to his dig site. And over the next several hours, the two would work independent of one another, just digging for topaz. Periodically, David would look over and he'd make sure that he could see Doc and make sure Doc was okay. At 3:45 in the afternoon, David decides, all right, it's probably time to get going soon. And he pokes his head up and he looks in the direction of where Doc was supposed to be, and Doc's not there. He had just seen him about 15 minutes earlier, so he's not concerned. He knows it's only been a few minutes, and frankly, Doc can't really go anywhere. He can barely walk. And so he just kind of stands up and maybe tries to get a better look, and he's thinking, okay, maybe Doc stood up and got behind a tree to relieve himself, or maybe he kind of is just out of sight, and he starts walking down to the area to just go find Doc. But Doc isn't there, and neither is his backpack with all of his tools. And David's sitting there thinking, I guess Doc must have packed up and headed back to the car. But then David's thinking to himself, in order to go from this dig site up to the car, it means walking up a fairly steep embankment. And there's no way that Doc would have been able to do that without assistance. And so he's looking around the area thinking, is there any sign of something bad happening here? There's no blood. There's no sign of any sort of altercation that would have happened here. David certainly didn't hear anything going on near him. He didn't hear an animal attack or anything like that. So he thinks, okay, somehow he must have got up to the car. David walks up the embankment all the way to the car. Doc's not up there. David goes in the car and he starts honking the horn and yelling out for Doc. No response. As he's honking the horn, 3 motorists come down the road. They see David honking the horn, and so they say, hey, what's going on? David tells them, hey, I got my 84-year-old friend. I don't know where he went. He can't have gone far. Can you guys help me look for him? But after David and these motorists spend a couple of hours looking in this area and there's no sign of him, they end up calling the authorities. The police show up, and over the next week, there is this extensive search in this whole area that includes bloodhounds and hundreds of people. But despite this massive effort, nothing is ever found of Doc. He just vanishes. And so Doc's wife writes a letter to the governor of Colorado and just says, he can't have done this on his own. He can't have walked away on his own. someone or something lifted him up and took him away. There was no response to this letter, and ultimately Doc's case was shut down. They stopped looking for him and assumed he had died. But when David Paulides looked into this case and featured the Doc DeMetz case on his documentary, they actually reopened the case. But as of right now, there's no new additional details about the whereabouts of Doc DeMetz. To this day, we don't know what happened to him. In 2014, Jim McGrogan was a 39-year-old medical doctor who was living in Indiana with his wife and his 2 kids. He was widely regarded as a very loving husband and devoted father, and everybody seemed to just love this guy. Jim was in phenomenal shape. He had run marathons, triathlons. He loved being in the outdoors, hiking, rock climbing, snowshoeing, skiing. That was Jim's happy place. And so in early March 2014, Jim decides he wants to plan a trip with some friends to go hiking in Colorado. And so he begins planning out where they're going to go hiking, and he finds this amazing trail right opposite the very famous Vail ski resort. Even though Jim was very competent in the outdoors, he would take a survival class and an avalanche preparedness class before he left for Colorado, just to show his wife that he wasn't taking any chances, that he would be well prepared in case the worst were to happen on this trip. About 2 weeks later, he's in Colorado and he heads to a ski shop where he rents a split snowboard as well as loads up on all the supplies that you might need for being in the outdoors. Early the next day, Jim and his friends arrived at the trailhead. Jim, in his backpack, had his cell phone. He also had an extra cell phone battery. He had a great GPS. In addition, he had loads of food and water. He had his split snowboard. He has his avalanche beacon. He's got extra clothing. I mean, this guy is well outfitted for this trip. So they start on this hike, and by 10 a.m. that morning, the rest of the group is feeling tired and wants to take a break. Jim doesn't want to take a break. He's in amazing shape and he wants to keep going. So he says, hey guys, I'm going to walk just a little bit farther up and I'll meet you at our next planned stop. No one bats an eye because Jim is like this total stud. He knows what he's doing. And they're like, all right, go ahead. We'll see you up there. Once the group is well rested, they stand back up and they keep walking. They get to that first stop and Jim's not there. They think, okay, we were sitting there for a little while. I'm sure he just went to the next planned stop, because they had planned stops all along the route. The trail they were on, because it had snowed significantly that winter and lots of people had been on this trail, the trail itself was totally packed down to the dirt. So it was very easy to identify this trail. Anywhere there wasn't trail was covered in snow. And so if you were walking this trail, it would be really easy to stay on it. Also, if you were to deviate from the trail and start walking away, it would be really obvious because people would see your footprints leaving the trail. But as Jim's friends are making their way up this trail and not seeing Jim at each of these subsequent stops, they don't see any footprints leaving the trail. So they just figure he must have gone all the way to the end. He's just way ahead of us. But by 5 p.m., when they made it all the way up to the top where they planned on stopping and turning around, Jim wasn't there, and they hadn't passed him on the way up, and they hadn't seen any footprints or any ski tracks or anything to indicate that someone had left the path. And so very worried about Jim, they called the authorities. Over the next 5 days, a massive search is launched in this area, including 3 helicopters that scoured an 18-mile square radius. They had scent sniffing dogs out there. They had all these very experienced mountaineers combing the area, but they couldn't find any sign of him. And again, because of all the snow outside of that trail they were on, the helicopter just searched up and down that trail looking for indications that someone had left the trail, looking for those footprints or ski tracks just off that trail they were on, and there weren't any. There was no sign that anyone had left the trail at any point. Yet Jim was gone. The authorities, friends, family, everybody's baffled. But they're thinking to themselves, Jim's a really competent outdoorsman. He has a working GPS. And they checked their cell phones. That whole area they were in, they had cell phone reception. So they're thinking to themselves, we don't know what's going on, but I'm sure he's going to turn up at some point. 20 days after Jim went missing, his body is discovered by 2 hikers 7 kilometers away from the trail he had been on when he went missing. He had died from significant head trauma as well as a broken femur. It looked like he had fallen from a really great height, but it wasn't entirely clear where he had actually fallen from. He was found with just leggings and a shirt on, no jacket and no boots, and his boots were nowhere to be found. His backpack was next to him, and inside of it was his GPS that worked and his cell phone that worked. He even had an extra battery for his cell phone. Yet at no point had he tried to use his cell phone over the duration of the time he had been out there. He also had lots of food and water and additional clothing. He had a tent, but it looked like none of it had been touched since he packed it originally.
Oh no. Sorry, it's me. Hopefully it works.
And then strangest of all is
There
there
we
were
go.
no footprints
thank
or
God.
ski tracks leading up to either where he was or any of the surrounding areas. There were no tracks to show how he actually got where he got. It's as if he had been lifted off the trail 7 kilometers away and dropped where he was. When the exact location of where he was found was communicated back to the authorities, the helicopter pilots who had been involved in that initial 5-day search said that we looked at that area multiple times and he wasn't there. So at some point after those 5 days, Jim had found a way to land 7 kilometers away in this random place where there's no footprints that lead to it, no tracks, no anything. We know he had a working cell phone and a working GPS, and we know that he didn't make it to this spot where he ultimately was found in the first 5 days. So at a minimum, what was he doing in those first 5 days? Why wasn't he using his cell phone to communicate what was going on? Why wasn't he using his GPS to get back to safety? Why didn't he use the supplies in his backpack to save his life? Why did he take his boots off? And then how did he wind up in the location he was in? Because there was no tracks that would have led to that spot. In 1958, Bobby Bizup was a 10-year-old living in Colorado. He was almost completely deaf, so he wore a hearing aid, and he came from a family that was devoutly Catholic. That summer, Bobby's family decided to send him to a Catholic camp for boys. It was located at the St. Malo Church inside of Rocky Mountain National Park. The camp itself was situated at the base of Mount Meeker. Anytime the boys were up the mountain, which was pretty steep, they could always look down and see this camp. In addition, there was this stream that fed right by the camp. So if they could just get to the stream anytime they were up in the mountain, they could follow it all the way down and get back to the camp. This was something that they told all of the boys in case they got lost up in the mountain. On August 15th, around 6 p.m., Bobby was a little ways up from the camp fishing along that river. And one of the camp counselors was making his way up to try to get all the boys to come back down for dinner. This camp counselor would say that he clearly saw Bobby recognize that it was time to come back down, it was time for dinner. He clearly saw Bobby turn and start walking down towards the camp. At which point the counselor turned his back on Bobby and he too began walking down towards the camp, which was not very far away. When the counselor got to the camp and turned back around though, Bobby was gone. And so the counselor starts immediately tracing his steps back to try to find Bobby, but he can't find him anywhere. The counselor goes and gets a number of the other counselors to come help him find Bobby. After about 30 minutes, no sign of Bobby. He's just gone. The camp counselors are looking around thinking, how is this possible? He was literally right there. He started walking, he was right behind me. How could he have gotten lost in such a short amount of time and in an area where he could literally see the camp and was actually on the river that leads right back to the camp? It didn't make any sense. The counselors alerted authorities and this massive search is launched to find Bobby. Over 300 people come out, including people from the military. It's this huge search and nothing is found of this boy. He's completely gone. 10 days after he went missing, they had to call off the search because there was absolutely no sign of this child. Even after the search ended, many of the camp counselors continued to, in their off time, scour the area around the camp to look for Bobby. And a year later, 3 camp counselors would actually find him. 3 camp counselors decided to go to a very hard to access area that had been searched previously, but they felt like it was the one spot that needed a little bit more attention. And it was 5 kilometers west of the camp and almost 800 yards up a fairly steep incline. This is a hard to access area, but they climbed their way up there, and sure enough, even though this area had been searched before, they found Bobby's hearing aid, bits of his clothing, and some of his bones. They didn't find any more of his remains, and no one knows what actually happened to him. But it really makes you wonder, what happened after the camp counselor turned his back on Bobby? It's as if someone scooped him up and flew him away. And even if he had intentionally run away, it would have been very difficult for a 10-year-old to get to that particular location where he was found. And to what end? Why would he have wanted to get up there? And so, like many of the other missing 411 cases, we are left with a series of questions and very few answers. So I'd love to get your theories as to what's causing these strange disappearances, and I'll do my best to get back to as many people as I can. So if you enjoyed today's stories, I would encourage you, if you have not already, to sneak into the like button's house and replace all of their family pictures with pictures of Steve Buscemi. Also, please subscribe to my channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly 3 to 4, even 5 video uploads. If you're interested in learning more about the missing 411 phenomenon, I provided links below to David Paulides and his team. If you have stories,
I am going to give you guys a warning for this next call. It probably will give you somewhat of an anxiety attack. Not gonna lie. Let's give you a heads up. Anyways, back to it. Boom!
There is one absolutely horrifying part of today's story. It's the part where Angela is under the bed. And believe me, when you get to that part in the story, you'll know what I'm talking about. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place, because that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. And so if that's of interest to you, then the next time the like button asks you to go get them a regular iced coffee, I want you to go to Starbucks and order a regular iced coffee, but with light ice. Then hand that sucker over to the fool that is the like button. Also, please subscribe to my channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's story. On January 23rd, 2005, which is actually a day that is remembered by the people of New York as Black Sunday, Curtis Myron, who was a New York City firefighter, was trapped on the 4th floor of an apartment in the Bronx. Blazing inferno. He, along with 5 other firefighters, are trapped on the top floor. There was no way out, and they elected to jump from the 4th floor. And unfortunately, Curtis, along with another firefighter, did not survive the fall. In addition to those 2 lives that were lost, another fire had broken out separately in New York the same day that claimed the life of a 3rd firefighter. This was the largest loss of life for the New York City Fire Department since the September 11th attacks. Curtis's wife, Jeanette, and their 2 daughters, Angela, who was a young teenager, and Deneen, who was a little bit younger than Angela, they were inconsolable. They never thought that their father, their husband, would not come home again. But they were faced with this horrible new reality where Dad wasn't coming home. The Black Sunday tragedy, the loss of those 3 firefighters, had become very high profile, and so news channels and media outlets were showing up at Jeanette's property hoping to get an interview with she or her kids about what had happened, and they were just not interested in that. And so they felt very trapped inside of the house. And the house itself had been built by Curtis. He had literally built the house, and so it was just a constant reminder of the sadness of this loss. And at some point, Jeanette just said to the girls, I think we should move. I think we just need a fresh start. This is too much. It's too much to be here. Let's just move. And the girls were very eager to leave. So Jeanette starts doing some house hunting, and quickly she finds this nice little house on Long Island where they live, but farther away from the city. And it was sitting on an acre of land, which for the price that was being asked for it, it was unheard of. They went to the property, and Jeanette could see that the house needed a ton of work. But all of Kurt's firefighter buddies were very eager to support Jeanette and her kids, and they offered to come by and actually help them do the renovations on the house. And so Jeanette bought the house, and very quickly she and her 2 daughters moved in, and all of Kurt's firefighter buddies showed up and began this massive house renovation. I mean, they were basically tearing it down to the studs and rebuilding the whole house. Because of this massive renovation project, a lot of the doors and windows were not secured, and so at night Jeanette felt really uncomfortable, so she went out and purchased 7 cameras to fit on the outside of the house to monitor the property, and all of the cameras streamed to her laptop where she could watch them at any time. And so she found herself watching these cameras a lot on her laptop, just kind of reflexively watching what was happening around her property. And so one night, Jeanette's at her house, her kids are upstairs, and she's got her laptop open, and she's watching these these feeds from the 7 different cameras. And she admitted that it was just kind of fun to watch the cameras. It felt, you know, kind of cool to see what was going on outside, but from the safety of your home. And she was watching one particular feed that was showing the edge of her property where there was this big forest that basically butted up against their property, where there was a swing set in their driveway. And she was looking out at this big open front yard of theirs. And from the tree line, she watched a figure emerge it looked like a man in a cloak, walk up to their driveway and walk a little ways down the driveway before stopping and staring up at the house. Jeanette was so caught off guard by what she was seeing that she didn't do anything. She just stood there watching this figure. And as soon as the figure had got...
Just imagine that. This, looking at a camera and then having a figure that's fucking staring the fuck right at you. Dude, it would be fucking scary. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, let's get back to it.
In there and was watching the house, it turned back around and walked back into the woods and vanished. It was late. Jeanette didn't know what she'd even seen. The cameras were not super HD, so she thought it must have been an animal or it was just an anomaly of the camera itself. So at the same time that Jeanette is looking at her laptop and she's trying to make sense of this figure she's seen, upstairs, the 2 girls are in their own bedrooms, which are on other ends of the hallway. Angela was laying on her bed with her back up against the wall and she's reading a book, and she starts hearing tapping along the same wall that her back is against, and she can almost feel it in her back. She puts her book down and sits forward and turns and is listening really intently to where the tapping had been coming from. And then she hears bang, 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 like someone's trying to get her attention. She gets right out of her bed and goes to her door. She opens it up and looks downstairs, because from where her door opened, she could look into the living room on the first floor. And immediately she saw her mom on her laptop. Her mom was not banging on anything. And her sister was in her room and she was down the hall. And so that couldn't have been her sister. So she goes back in her room and she's thinking to herself, I'm hearing things. She puts her ear right up against the wall, and as soon as her ear makes contact with the wall, she said it sounded like someone smashed the wall right on the other side of her ear. It causes her to freak out, and she goes right into her bed and throws the covers over her head and she hides. What Angela didn't know is that down the hall, her younger sister, Deneen, had heard tapping as well, but her tapping sounds were not coming from the wall, they were coming from the door. And she thought her mom had come upstairs to see what she was doing, so she got up, walked to the door, opened it up, and there was nothing. She did the same thing that Angela did and poked her head down and saw her mom sitting on the couch. She looked down the hall and she saw that Angela's door was closed. It wasn't Angela. So she shuts the door, and as soon as it shuts, she hears 3 distinct taps on the door. She opens it up again, there's no one there. She too runs into her bed and jumps under the covers. The girls would say in interviews that the tapping sounds continued periodically throughout most of the night, but at some point they both managed to fall asleep under the covers. The next morning, the girls go downstairs and they're in the kitchen and they tell...
Just imagine that. Having to sleep under your covers because of something tapping, banging the wall or door that you're on. Dude, that's fucking scary. I don't know about y'all, but it's fucking scary. Just imagine that, this fucking tapping all night or close to it. Anyways, yeah.
Tell each other what they had heard the night before, and they both start feeding off of each other because they both had this experience and didn't realize it. Angela would say to Deneen, yeah, I heard these tapping sounds. Deneen is picking up on her fear and she's saying, I heard tapping sounds, and the kids are really wound up. And that's when Jeanette comes into the kitchen and she sees her kids talking about something that seems really intense, and she goes, what's going on? What are you talking about? And they said, Mom, we think something's wrong with the house. We heard tapping sounds last night. This happened to me. This happened to me. And Jeanette just says, guys, it's a brand new house. We aren't used to the sounds the house makes. I'm sure it's just pipes or, creaking floorboards or something. You guys are overthinking it. Don't worry about a thing. The house is fine. Over the following few days, some of the firemen that were helping renovate the house began to work on the basement. The basement was full of clutter. It was like whoever had lived there before had never taken anything out. Very old pieces of machinery and furniture and strange boxes and papers. And the first step to fixing the basement was just going to be emptying it. And so the firemen were removing things from the basement when one of them, his name was Tom, he was one of Kurt's very good friends, Tom discovered that on the ground underneath all the clutter was this large pentagram. which is a 5-pointed star inside of a circle that is almost always associated with satanic worship. Tom gets Jeanette to come downstairs and he shows her what's in the ground. And he says, "What do you want me to do about this?" And Jeanette said, "Paint over it. I don't want my kids to see this." But what Jeanette didn't know is that the kids had actually been playing outside over the past couple of days out in that forest in their property. And they had found a number of pentagrams carved into trees, into rocks, carved into the dirt on the ground. They were everywhere. They decided not to tell their mom because they didn't want their mom to worry. So they're both siloing information about these pentagrams all over their property. A couple of days later, Angela was going to be home alone for a few hours. And Jeanette had given Angela some chores, which included cleaning out the refrigerator. And so Angela's in the kitchen and she's got the fridge open and she's taking things out and cleaning off each of the different drawers. And she can't help but feel like someone is standing behind her. She kept turning around and no one was standing in the kitchen, but she just could not shake this feeling that someone was behind her. And so she's looking at the fridge at one point and she's about to just give up on cleaning the fridge and explain to her mom that she would just do it later, when all of a sudden she hears behind her this loud explosion. She hears pots and pans and knives and forks clattering all over the ground, and she instantly turns around and every cabinet, every drawer has come flying open and all of their contents have come smashing onto the floor. She sprints up to her bedroom screaming and hides in the corner. Shortly thereafter, Jeanette comes home. She goes inside and she sees the kitchen is an absolute mess. It looks like someone had broken in, and she starts screaming for Angela, thinking the worst. Someone's broken in. What happened to my daughter? She's running upstairs screaming for Angela. She finds Angela curled up in the corner of her bedroom. What's going on? What happened in the kitchen? And Angela just could not put an answer together. She was so shocked by what happened. So Jeanette tells her to stay here. She runs around the house making sure that no one's there. She gets her laptop, goes back to Angela, opens it up, and she checks the footage. No one's in their house. No one's been near their house. All the while, Angela's just sobbing hysterically. And finally, after Jeanette is convinced that there has not been a home invasion, she turns to Angela and she's like, "What is going on? Why does the kitchen look like this?" And Angela tried to explain what happened, but it just didn't make any sense. And so Jeanette was getting frustrated with Angela and saying, "Did you do that down in the kitchen?" But when Angela didn't change her story and just looked terrified, Jeanette started to see that Angela wasn't lying. This incident really rattled Angela, and Jeanette would comment in different interviews that it was at this point that Angela began to withdraw quite a bit. She was really upset about what had happened in the kitchen, but there wasn't really a good way to handle it, and so Jeanette didn't know what to say to her daughter. Angela didn't know how to talk about it, and so it was just this awful cloud in their life that they had this really intense thing happen, but there's just no explanation for it. A couple of days after the kitchen incident, and the crew that had been clearing out the basement got to the point where they were ready to actually start tearing down drywall. And so as they start demoing the walls, they find hidden in the walls a journal. And it's this very old looking journal with some lace wrapped around it. And one of the firemen gives it to Jeanette and just says, "Hey, I thought you might want to look at this. I don't know what to make of it, but it was in your wall." Jeanette opened it up and she began flipping through it, and she saw a date that was 1927. And she knew that was actually the date that this house was actually built. It seemed like this was a journal written by someone named Christina, who seemed fairly young. And as she's flipping through this journal, it really starts to take a dark turn when she sees diagrams of these ritualistic sacrifices of animals and of people that apparently were taking place in this house, because the diagram clearly indicated that it was happening in the basement. And even weirder is there was this room that they didn't know what it was for in the basement that was underneath the stairs, that it wasn't really a closet. It was all cement on all four sides. It was like someone had put a pocket of cement underneath the stairs, and they always wondered what it was. And some of the diagrams indicated that some of the sacrificing was going on underneath the stairs in that room. Jeanette decides to keep the journal from her kids. She does not want them to know that this was found in the walls. A couple of days later, Angela is in her bedroom listening to music on her headphones, and at some point she thinks she hears someone call her name. She takes her headphones out, she goes to the door, opens up, looks down and says, "Hey Mom, did you call me?" And her mom's like, "No." She looks down the hall and she can hear that her sister is showering in the bathroom at the end of the hall, so it wasn't her. And so, Angela, she has a healthy fear of this house because of really the kitchen incident more than anything else. But she's thinking, okay, I must have heard something, not a big deal. So she goes back into her room and she sits down in her bed. But before putting her headphones back in, she hears someone say, "Get Deneen." And it's coming from in the walls. Immediately, she's terrified. Down the hall, she hears Deneen, who's in the shower, screaming bloody murder. Angela starts running to the bathroom to see what's going on with Deneen, right as Jeanette is flying up the stairs to go see what's going on with Deneen. They open up the door, and Deneen is huddled on the ground screaming about some person in the bathroom with her. And she kept turning around and no one was there. Jeanette would say when she saw her daughter, she looked so scared she thought she was having a seizure. And Jeanette immediately grabs a towel, scoops up her daughter, she grabs Angela, and they leave the bathroom. They go running into Jeanette's room, and they get into Jeanette's bed, and they're all huddled there, and Jeanette's trying to ask Deneen what she saw. And so Deneen finally says that she was in the shower, and she heard someone saying her name, and it sounded like a male voice. And she's just looking through the frosted glass, and all of a sudden she sees a big hand land on the outside of the shower door. Jeanette felt so helpless. She had lost her husband, her kids have lost their father, and there's all these strange things happening in the house, and Jeanette just felt like she couldn't protect them. It was around this time that Jeanette really felt like she should leave the house. But financially, they were really invested into this house, so it would have been very difficult to leave just financially. And then also, the amount of time and energy all the firefighters, all of Kurt's friends had put into renovating the house and, gutting it and fixing it up. It was so much time and energy that she felt like she would be letting them down if she left. And she couldn't possibly tell them that the reason that she was leaving is because the house is haunted. And so she just felt trapped. A couple of days go by and everybody is just on edge in the house. Angela, Deneen, Jeanette, they don't like being there. And Angela just felt really cooped up when she was home, and she was just scared of being in the house. And so one night she decides to go outside and just swing on their swing, which was on their front property. Jeanette is inside the house doing dishes where there's a window that looks out the front of the house where you can see this swing set. When she finishes doing the dishes, she takes her eye off of Angela for a moment and she walks into the other room to sit down on the couch. She grabs her laptop, she opens it up and figures she can keep an eye on Angela using the security camera that was pointing in that direction. So she opens up the program and she pulls up all the camera feeds, and she's shocked when on the camera feed with Angela, she sees the same cloaked figure she had seen the first time she'd been looking at the live feeds, standing right behind Angela. And immediately she's up and sprinting outside, screaming for Angela. As soon as she gets outside, she hears Angela screaming for her mother before she's even seen her mother. And when she turns the corner, she sees Angela screaming in pain on the ground in front of the swing, and there's no cloaked figure anywhere. She runs over and she can see that Angela's ankle has been badly broken or dislocated, and so she scoops her up and she said, "What happened?" And Angela said that somebody pushed me. Someone pushed me off the swing. And they go to the hospital, and sure enough, she had dislocated and broken her ankle. When they got home that night, Jeanette opened up the laptop and reviewed the footage from outside, and she saw this figure walk out of the woods, and the swing was right up against the woods, and it goes right behind Angela and appears to push Angela and then goes back into the woods. Jeanette called the police, she showed them the footage, and they feel really bad, and they can clearly see what happened. But there's no way to identify the figure that came out of the tree line. They just told them to be careful, don't go in your woods, and if you see this figure again in any of your camera feeds, call us right away and we'll come right over and we'll do what we can. So at this point, Jeanette is terrified. She can't protect her kids, and she doesn't leave them really at any point. She's 24/7 in the same room with her kids. They're sleeping in the same room, and the only time she would leave them is during the day for very brief stints. And on one day, a couple of days after the swing incident, Jeanette needed to go to the pharmacy, and so Angela's going to be alone for about an hour and a half. And so her mom leaves, and Angela is in her bedroom, and she's sitting on her bed, and she's listening to music. At some point, she thinks she hears banging coming from somewhere in her room. Now, at this point, Angela's been pretty shaken up after living here. She had the incident in the kitchen where everything flew out of the drawers and cupboards. She's been hearing tapping and banging sounds. She has her sister's story about the hand on the glass in the shower. She just got pushed off a swing by some cloaked figure. I mean, she's scared of this place. And so every sound is going to terrify her. And when she started hearing that tapping sound, she took out her headphones. She looks over at her closet and she can see that the doors are rattling. She is so immediately scared that she gets off of the bed and goes underneath and tucks up against the side of the wall. She could actually see the bottom of the closet, and she can see it's still rattling, and she's tucked up against the wall. And as she's looking,
to give you guys a brief heads up, this is going to get intense. This saying.
Looking, the doors slowly slide open, and she sees a figure walk out of her closet that must have been standing there the whole time that she'd been laying on her bed. She said this horrible smell filled the room, and she said that it looked like it had human feet, bare feet, but it was a totally dark figure. It was hard to really pick out if it looked human or not, but it began walking around her room, and she believed it was looking for her. And she heard its footsteps as it walked all over her room. And at some point, it walks into the hall out of her bedroom. And she's just laying there under her bed, hoping that it doesn't come back. And then when she thinks it's walked all the way downstairs, it goes quiet. And then she hears it running up the stairs, running into her bedroom, runs right in front of the bed. Its feet are aimed right at her. It climbs onto her bed. She can hear the springs condensing right above her. And she's looking out wide-eyed, holding her mouth. And all of a sudden, its head appears looking down directly at her. And it's this dark face, sunken eyes. It looks like its skin is rotting off of its head. And it's just staring at her upside down, looking directly at her. At this point, she screams and the figure goes back up onto the bed. And now it's sitting right above her. She's screaming uncontrollably.
Whoa.
And then she hears it get off the bed, but she doesn't.
Fuck that shit. Now. God damn. Fuck. Dude. Why?
Doesn't know where it went in the room. And so for the next 45 minutes, she lays there expecting this thing to come back. It knows where she is. It knows she's under the bed. And she can hear it occasionally running around the house. She can just smell.
This is like the deleted scenes from The Exorcist.
This horrible smell, and at some point she hears her mom's car outside and she starts screaming for her mother. Her mother must have heard her because she comes bombing into the house. She runs up the stairs. She's screaming for Angela. Angela's screaming for her mom. And then she finally finds Angela under the bed. She pulls her out and she holds her and she's trying to figure out what's going on. And Angela's saying that he's in the house. He's in the house. He's in the house. I don't know what it is. He came out of my closet. Jeanette runs all through the house looking for anything or anyone in the house. There's nothing. It's gone. At this point, Jeanette is at her wit's end. She doesn't know what to do. So she takes Angela, she gets in the car. They drive to where Deneen is. Deneen was with a friend at the time. They get Deneen, so the three of them are together now, and they drive to Jeanette's parents' house.
Here we go.
While they're there, Jeanette calls a paranormal investigator,
back.
and she says, I need your help. I need help to get rid of what's going on in my house. And so she gets in touch with this woman named Liz, who offers to do a cleansing of the house. And after the cleansing was done, Jeanette would say that it appeared that everything stopped in the house. And somewhat unbelievably, Jeanette and Angela and Deneen decided to stay in the house where this demon was. That they felt confident that the cleansing had gotten rid of it, and to this day, they still live there. If it was me, I would have been out of that house and never gone back.
Yep.
So I'd love to get your reaction to this story. Do you think there was some paranormal entity that was haunting them in the house? Or do you think this is just a product of extreme grief and anxiety as a result of the death of their husband and father? Or is it something else? Let me know what your theory is in the comments, and I will do my best to get back to as many of you as I possibly can. If you enjoyed this video, then the next time the like button asks you to get them a regular iced coffee, go to Starbucks and get an iced coffee, but ask for light ice. And then hand that joke of a drink to the fool that is the like button. The house itself had been built by Curtis. He had literally built the house. And so it was just a constant reminder of the sadness of this loss. And at some point, Jeanette just said to the girls, I think we should move. I think we just need a fresh start. This is too much. It's too much to be here. Let's just move. And the girls were very eager to leave. So Jeanette starts doing some house hunting and quick. I read a lot of scary stories, but today's top story legitimately freaked me out. But before I get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right channel, because that's all we do, and we upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please invite the like button to come out to dinner with you to a very fancy restaurant, order a ton of food, wolf it down, and before the check arrives, say you need to go to the bathroom, but just leave the restaurant. Also, please subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories. In 1982, a very outdoorsy teenage girl and boy who had recently started dating decided to go camping in Maine. Around 1 a.m. on the first night they were there, the girl wakes up because she has to go to the bathroom, and she's about to unzip her tent when she stops because she hears some strange noises coming from outside their tent. It wasn't that loud, but it sounded distinctly like something was digging in the ground. But she really had to go, and she figured, you know what, it's probably just some small animal or something. And so she begins to unzip the tent, and there's a little bit of moonlight that night, and there was a clearing outside of their tent. So the moonlight's pouring through, so she has plenty of illumination. And so she looks through this tiny hole, and she can't believe what she sees. It is a grown woman squatting down about 2 or 3 feet away from their tent. Her back is to them, so she can't see that she's looking through the tent, and she's feverishly digging into the ground in front of her. The girl literally falls backwards into her tent. She's so startled by what she sees, and she lands on her boyfriend, who immediately gets up, and he's like, "What's going on?" And she goes, "Shh," and she points at the little hole where she had unzipped the tent, and she goes, "Look." The boy is confused, but he can tell his girlfriend is very serious, so he sits up quietly and he looks through the little opening in the door and he sees the digging woman. The boy recoils and looks at his girlfriend and he's like, "What is going on out there?" He takes a flashlight and she's telling him, "Don't do it." And he opens up the tent a little bit more and he aims his flashlight directly on this woman. And this gets her attention and she stops digging and she stands up slowly and she turns around and faces them and she's got no expression. She's not giving them any indication why she's there. She's not acting aggressive. She's not acting scared. She's just completely neutral. And she stands there staring at them for quite a while before turning around and just walking away from their campsite. And after a little while, when they were pretty certain she was gone, they open their tent all the way, they go outside, they kind of scan around with their flashlights and she's nowhere to be found, and they go to where she was digging, and it's just this weird 4-inch deep hole in the ground. There's no rhyme or reason to why she was doing that. And so after sitting there wondering what they should do, they settled on, well, tomorrow we'll tell the park rangers that she was here and maybe they'll do something about it. And so feeling pretty confident that this woman's not going to come back, they both go back into the tent, they zip it shut, they get in their sleeping bags, and they're about to go to sleep when they hear someone running towards their campsite. And they know it's this woman. They immediately unzip the tent and they look out, and now the woman's not digging anymore. She's rummaging through some of their stuff that's outside of their tent. And the way she's doing it, they described as monkey-like. She'd pick something up, look at it, and throw it over her head. She'd pick the next thing up, throw it over her head, back and forth, just throwing things behind her. And so the boy gets out and he shines a light on her and goes, "You need to leave." And she doesn't react. She just keeps flipping through all their stuff until he gets pretty forceful and says, "You need to leave right now." And at that point, she kind of stops and looks at him like, "Huh, what are you doing here?" And then she gets up, turns around, and walks away. Now the couple really doesn't know what to do because she's clearly willing to come back after being confronted. But they stayed outside their tent for about 15 more minutes, shining their light and making lots of noise and treating her like she's an animal. And they're just trying to scare her away from the campsite. And after a little bit of time, they thought, okay, there's no way she comes back now because, we were pretty aggressive with her this time and she seemed to really get it. They both do go back in the tent, and as soon as they zip it shut, they hear her come running straight back to the site, like she was literally waiting in the wings for when they went back in the tent. And this time she runs back to the hole in the ground and she's just feverishly digging into the ground as fast as she can. And this time they come out of their tent and they're mad and they are screaming at this woman to get the F out of here. What are you doing? And this seems to kind of frighten the woman, who gets up and she looks at them like, why are you yelling at me? And she runs away, and it looked almost animalistic the way she was running away, like she was feral. The boy and the girl are totally shaken up at this point. It's about 1:30 in the morning and this woman just keeps coming back to their site and they don't know what to do about it. So they turn on some lanterns and they turn on their flashlights and they decide, we're just going to stay outside until the morning. That way we know she doesn't come back and doesn't steal anything from us. But by about 3:30 in the morning, they've been outside for 2 hours. They're getting cold. They're super tired. The woman's nowhere to be found. And so they finally say, you want to go back in and get some sleep? I think this time she's really gone. They get back in their sleeping bags and they go to sleep. They don't hear her again. The next morning when they get up and they unzip their tent, they look outside and all of their stuff has been thrown all over the campsite. And the hole in the ground that the woman had dug that was previously about 4 or 6 inches deep is now well over a foot deep. And they realize this woman must have been lurking in the shadows in the woods, watching them from 1:30 to 3:30 in the morning. That whole time they were out there kind of warding her off. She was just waiting, just watching them the whole time in the shadows. And as soon as they went into their tent, she must have given it a little bit of time, but then she ran right back over and she ransacked their site. But the strangest thing was, after they looked through all of the stuff she had chucked around, nothing was missing. And there was some pretty expensive stuff that was laying out that she could have taken, but didn't. After they picked up their site, they went to the park ranger and they told them about what had happened. But the ranger has no idea what to make of it. He's never heard of such a thing. And so the couple just leaves that day because they're not about to spend another night here. And to this day, they have no idea why this woman was running onto their site and digging into the ground and rummaging through their stuff. It was like she was just a wild animal. In 2015, an experienced outdoorsman named Bob, along with his wife, his young daughter, and their 2 German shepherds, decided to go camping in a remote part of northern Oregon. When they arrived at the site, Bob began setting up the big family tent for everyone to sleep in, and his daughter said, "Hey, do you mind if I sleep in the spare 2-man tent that we always bring with us?" Bob and his wife deliberated for a minute, but said, "You know what, that's fine, but you gotta bring Guts." That's one of the German shepherds. Guts needs to sleep with you because he's gonna be your protection. So that night, after some s'mores around a campfire, Bob's daughter, along with Guts, retreat to their 2-man tent, and Bob, his wife, and Leah, the other dog, retreat to their tent. That night, Bob wakes up suddenly to what sounds like footsteps outside of his tent, and he looks to his side, and his wife is still in the tent with him, and so is Leah, the other dog, and he listens really closely, and he can hear his daughter is snoring, and he can hear the sound of Guts breathing. So his whole family is accounted for, but he still hears these footsteps, and they don't sound like light little scampering sounds like you might expect from a squirrel or some small critter. They sound heavy, like a big creature is roaming around their campsite. But Bob's dogs are really keyed in to protecting their family, and since Guts and Leah are not up going crazy about whatever's out there, he figures, you know what, it's gotta be an elk or something, and it's not gonna do anything to us, so Bob ultimately just goes back to sleep. The next morning, Bob gets up, and everybody's just fine. There's no sign of any intruders in their campsite, and so that only confirms to him that, yep, it was just some harmless animal kind of walking around the wilderness, because we're in a pretty remote area. That morning, they decide to go for a walk down the road that was right next to their campsite. And so they take the dogs, they start walking, and they make it a couple hundred feet down this road when all of a sudden Guts sees something or hears something and takes off sprinting down the road and turns down this little access road that branches off of the road they're on into the woods. And Bob is thinking, oh no, there's a campsite down there and this big German shepherd's gonna bound up on them and something bad's gonna happen. And so Bob, his heart's racing, he starts taking off after Guts. He goes down the access road and he finds Guts stopped right outside of a campsite. But there doesn't appear to be anybody in the campsite. But there's a tent, there's a cooler, there's a table, there's all the things you would expect at a campsite, just no people. So Bob runs up and he grabs Guts and he yells out reflexively, "Hey, I'm really sorry, he's totally harmless. I don't know what he saw. Hey, we're leaving." But then before he leaves, he realizes on the tent, there's this big scratch through it, like it's been cut open. And curiosity gets the better of him. And so he kind of walks up, keeping an eye out in case he's wrong and there are people still here. But as he gets closer, he realizes there's definitely no one here. This site is abandoned. Because he's looking around and all of their stuff has just been ransacked. There's scratch marks on everything, like animals have clearly come through here. And Bob, who is an avid outdoorsman, he knows how much some of their equipment cost. And he's thinking, why would anyone abandon this really expensive tent or this really expensive cooler? And as he's thinking about that, he turns and he sees there's a propane tank, a solid metal propane tank that has been completely flattened. But there's no tree that's fallen nearby. There's no source. There's no way that could have been flattened. So he's definitely unsettled by this, but ultimately he decides, you know what? I'm gonna take my family, go back to my campsite. I'll just call the park rangers. They can come down here and they can figure out what this is. Later that afternoon, Bob and his family are back at their campsite just a couple hundred feet away from this abandoned campsite. And at one point, his wife gets up to go use the bathroom. She walks about 70 feet away behind a tree and she squats down. And then all of a sudden, she gets up and starts running back towards camp. And Bob sees this. He turns and sees her running towards him. At the same time, Guts gets up and starts sprinting towards her. And so Bob's thinking, what the heck is going on? Bob turns to his daughter and says, stay right here with Leah. And Bob gets up and starts running towards his wife. And Guts, at this point, has run to his wife and past his wife. Guts has run way into the woods. And as Bob is running up to his wife, he's like, what's going on? Why are you running? What's going on? And she says, I don't know. I just had this horrible feeling someone was watching me. And when I turned, I already saw Guts running towards me and it scared me. And so that's why I'm here. And he's like, look, go with our daughter and with Leah. I'm going to see what's going on. And so his wife leaves and Bob draws his pistol and he starts walking out towards where Guts has now stopped. Hair raised, growling, it's yapping and barking at something in front of it. And Bob's looking and he can't see anything. And finally, after not being able to figure out what the heck is going on, he just takes Guts and goes back to his campsite. When Bob got back to his campsite, he wanted to leave. And his wife wanted to leave. His daughter didn't really know what was going on, but the attitude was, we want to leave. However, it was getting late and they had a bunch of stuff they would need to pack up. And it was going to be a real ordeal trying to do that, especially without any light. So they decide, okay, we'll stay one more day and we're going to leave first thing in the morning. In Bob's head, he's thinking, okay, I heard weird footsteps outside. You know, we have this abandoned campsite nearby that's been thrashed up in the flattened propane tank. And now my wife is running away from something and Guts is seeing strange things in the woods. Like there's a lot of weird stuff going on. And he decides he's going to set up a tripwire all the way around his campsite using a rope tied at about 8 inches off the ground, where along the rope would be little pieces of metal that would clang together. So if anything touched the rope, it would make the metallic clinking sound, then it would alert Bob that someone's here. And so Bob goes over to the edge of the site where there's an obvious starting point for this tripwire, and he bends down to tie the rope, and he realizes, oh my God, someone's already done this. There is another tripwire that's already been built around the outside of our campsite. It's just been cut, it's been broken. Like it doesn't work, but it's here. Someone else who was at this campsite felt concerned enough about whatever was in the woods that they already had this idea. Bob didn't even tie his perimeter. He just drew his gun, told his family, get in the truck, and he stayed up all night protecting his family in the truck. As soon as the sun came up, they packed up and they got the heck out of there. Bob is convinced that there is something out there in the woods in northern Oregon that was walking around their campsite at night, that's scaring their dogs, that's stalking them basically and watching them from a distance. And probably whatever is out in the woods is the same thing that caused the previous group to set up their own tripwire. And it's also probably the reason the other campers at the other campsite were willing to abandon their nice equipment to get the heck out of there, because they are not messing with whatever the heck is out in those woods. In 2004, wildland firefighters were called into a forest in central Idaho to combat an emerging fire. By the time the crew arrived at this forest, it was clear this fire was spreading a lot faster than they anticipated. As a result, Mike, who was the assistant superintendent, basically the second in command of this particular crew, he said he was going to hop on the ATV and drive off way ahead of them to see if they needed to spread out farther to stop this fire. So Mike hops on an ATV and he takes off down this ancient looking logging road that probably hasn't seen a vehicle or a person in decades. Mike had made it about a half mile down this trail when he noticed out of the corner of his eye a bobcat was running perpendicular to him straight out of the forest as if it was going to cross the road about 100 feet in front of him. Mike comes to a stop and thinks, this bobcat doesn't know I'm here. It probably is not used to seeing people. It's going to come out into this trail, see me, get spooked, and run away. But instead, this bobcat runs directly into the middle of the road, turns, and faces Mike in a very aggressive posture. Mike is shocked at what he's seeing because he knows bobcats are notoriously elusive and they're nocturnal. So for this thing to be out in the daytime and to be intentionally blocking his path and standing there aggressively like it's going to attack him was so out of the ordinary. So the two of them are just looking at each other, not moving for about 10 seconds until this bobcat opens its mouth and then begins screaming like a person. It did not seem like the right sound for what he was looking at. He said more than scary, it was just intensely weird. And just as quickly as this bobcat has arrived,
bobcats make weird noises.
Turns and runs to a tree, sprints up the tree and climbs onto this branch that happens to be perched right over the trail he's on. And Mike's looking up at this bobcat that's right over this trail, and he knows if I'm going to continue going down this trail, I have to go under this screaming bobcat. Although totally freaked out, he knew he needed to keep going down this trail, and he's thinking to himself, you know what, this bobcat is probably just scared of me, and that was its reaction, as bizarre as it was. And so he throws his ATV in gear, and he starts slowly moving down the trail, the whole time keeping his eye on the bobcat, making sure it doesn't show any sign like it's going to leap off onto him. And as he got closer and closer, he just gunned it and sped underneath the branch, and luckily it didn't jump down on him. And as he got a little bit farther away, he turned up to look, and the bobcat had turned around and was still watching him very intently sitting on this branch. Mike makes it about another half mile down the road before he sees something else that's very strange. He sees a cabin. It's this little tiny cabin that's tucked away in the woods, and he's thinking to himself, I'm on federal land. There aren't supposed to be any private structures here. And he figures, even if this is illegal, I do need to stop and make sure no one's in there because there's this huge fire coming this way. And so he parks his ATV and he starts walking off the trail towards this cabin. And as he gets closer, he can tell it's not only a very old cabin, but it's almost certainly abandoned because he can see all these slats that have been put over all of the windows, like it's been boarded up. But when he got up close, he noticed something strange. The door itself into this cabin was not boarded up, and the doorknob was missing, and in its place was this shiny silver chain link that was thread through the opening where there should have been a doorknob around a wooden post that was right outside the door. Basically a makeshift lock because there was no doorknob to it. And he's thinking how weird it is that in the middle of this forest, on an old ancient logging road that clearly no one goes down, where bobcats are running around freely, that there would be this new chain here, which indicates someone must have been here recently. And so he bends down to look through the space that was still there from where the doorknob should have been, and he looks inside and he can't really see anything. And so he takes his flashlight and he shines it in, and he can't believe what he's looking at. There's all this furniture inside this tiny little cabin in the middle of nowhere, and it's all upside down. And he's just totally creeped out. So he puts his flashlight away and kind of backs up, and he starts walking back towards the road, and he can't help it, but the whole time he's looking over his shoulder back at the cabin, like someone's gonna emerge from outside of this cabin. He gets to the road, and by the time he's there, he's running. He jumps on his ATV, he whips it around, and he starts blazing back up the logging road back towards his crew. And when he turns the corner to where that bobcat was, he sees there is now a Native American woman standing in the middle of the path. She's wearing this tattered white nightgown, she's barefoot, and she's standing in the same spot he saw that bobcat. And she's looking at him as if she's expecting him, like she's been tipped off that he's gonna be here. And he stops about 100 feet away from her, and now he's officially freaked out. He's still looking over his shoulder towards that cabin, because now everything is just totally weird to him. And before he has a chance to do anything, this woman lets out a scream, a blood-curdling scream that is identical to the bobcat's scream. And so Mike is totally unnerved by this. Everything about this day has really gone sideways as this woman is screaming at the top of her lungs, and then suddenly she stops. Mike's still just standing there like, what's going on?
Like, what?
And she runs to the same tree the bobcat had climbed earlier, and she climbs up this tree and gets onto the branch where the bobcat was and perches like an animal on the branch looking at Mike. And now, just like the bobcat, Mike is going to have to drive right underneath this woman who is perched over the trail. And so he throws his ATV in gear and he starts driving, and he's staring at this woman, and now her mouth is just open like she's about to scream again. And as soon as he got close, he gunned it and went right underneath her. And he turned around after he got some distance away from her, and she's still on the branch, now turned around facing him as he drives away. He goes back, he tells the crew what he saw, and as much as they all want to go back and see this woman and see this cabin, they know they can't. They got to fight this fire. And so ultimately they do that, and then they leave. A couple of days later, Mike was in a bar in the town right near the forest they had just been in fighting that fire, and Mike had seen the woman in the cabin, and he struck up a conversation with a local. And he said, hey, do you know of any buildings that are in that section of the forest? And the guy kind of laughed, and he was like, you know, the only building I ever heard of out there was apparently some cabin where some crazy lady thought of herself as a witch, and she apparently had a bobcat for a pet. And so we as kids were just told to stay away from there. So besides that, I don't know. So that's going to do it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's stories, and I will pin the best comment at the top of the comments section. If you enjoyed today's story and you haven't done this already, please invite the like button to come out to dinner with you at a very expensive restaurant, eat a ton of food, but before that, through the little opening in the door, and he sees the digging woman. The boy recoils and looks at his girlfriend, and he's like, what is going on out there. He takes a flashlight and she's telling him, don't do it. And there is one.
Got one couple more videos. Let's go with this one.
To an enormous amount of scientific scrutiny. In fact, there was a decade-long study done on this case where PhDs and scientists converged on this one location and basically around the clock studied, all these claims of the paranormal that was happening in the area. And after a decade of research, the findings are pretty mind-blowing. And the case that I'm referring to is none other than the very famous Skinwalker Ranch. So the too long didn't read version of this story is you have a family that purchases a ranch out in Utah, and as soon as they move in, they start noticing some pretty bizarre things around their property. Everything from, some of their livestock going missing or being harmed. They have strange sightings in the woods of creatures and lights in the sky. They eventually report it to the news, and that news story gets picked up by a couple of other outlets, and a billionaire who is obsessed with researching the paranormal sees this story. He buys the property and installs an entire team of scientists and researchers to basically try to figure out what was happening at this ranch. And they spend 10 years studying this ranch. The outcome is, well, turns out some strange things really were happening there. Before we get started, if this type of content appeals to you, the kind of strange, dark, mysterious content delivered in a story format, well, if that appeals to you, that's what my channel's all about. And I post 3 to 4 times a week. So if you would, if that appeals to you, please gently ransack the like button and then turn on all notifications so you can get all of my content every time I upload every week. All right, on with the story. In the northeastern corner of Utah lies a 500-acre plot of land. It's all desert where a ranch sits, and that is Skinwalker Ranch. It was built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it was actually built on a piece of land that had apparently been cursed. Prior to its construction, the Navajo tribe had a feud with the Utes Native American tribe. The Utes were selling off other Native Americans that they would capture. They would sell them into slavery to the United States. And so the Navajo, who had previously lived in the area where this ranch actually was built, they were forced off their land as the Utes came in and were rounding them up and selling them into slavery. And before the Navajo left that area, they cursed the land with what's called the Skinwalker curse. The idea was they were going to torment the Utes tribe for the hardships they had inflicted on the Navajo. The Skinwalker curse, legend has it, is this curse where these witches descend on the area and take the form or wear the skin of various predatory animals in the area, namely large wolves and foxes. They inhabit those bodies and terrorize anybody in the cursed land. At some point, this ranch is actually built on the land that had apparently been cursed. It wasn't until many years later when owners of that ranch started seeing predatory animals doing some very strange things in and around their property that they did some research on the area, learned about this curse, and then before long, the nickname had stuck. In 1994, Terry and Gwen Sherman purchased Skinwalker Ranch. It had actually been abandoned by the previous owners for the last few years, so when they purchased it, they got it for way below market price. So they are just so excited to be moving in. They breed cattle, and so they had 500 acres to let their cattle free roam. It was like the dream purchase for this family. And so when they finally do move in, like the day they move in, they don't really care that the grass is overgrown. It looks like things are kind of in disrepair. And in fact, when they go into the homestead, like the actual house on the property, they were so excited about everything that they kind of overlooked some of the strange things that they immediately noticed about the property. They go inside and every window has a deadbolt on it. the inside and outside of every door in the house, not just the doors leading outside, doors leading between rooms had locks, the front and back side. They noticed these big pikes that were driven into the ground at the front door and back door of the property with massive chains stringing off of them, which looked like, you know, pretty powerful guard dogs had been there. They're thinking to themselves, well, this is a huge piece of property. You know, perhaps the previous owners are a little bit paranoid because they're kind of isolated. And so they didn't really raise a red flag when, to be honest, had I moved into a property where every single door and window had multiple locks on it, they had these big guard dogs, I'd probably ask a couple questions. But you know what? Terry and Gwen, they're just so excited about this purchase that, again, they kind of just overlook it. So on the day that they are moving in, Terry and Gwen have some family members over to help them offload trucks and move stuff into the homestead. And it's during this process as they're moving things out of the truck into the house. And again, you got to remember that the house is situated like right in the middle of the property, and you can see in every direction basically unobstructed because it's basically open desert, with the exception of a couple areas that are, you know, basically forests. And as they're offloading some of the stuff into the house, Terry looks out at one of these tree lines and he notices this huge wolf, or what looks like a wolf, pretty well off in the distance, kind of meandering its way over towards them. But it's far enough off that this is not enough to be totally worried about it. After all, I mean, Terry was a rancher and his family were fairly rugged. They carried weapons and they were used to, you know, protecting their livestock from predators. So this was not a, oh my goodness, I can't believe a wolf is near us. It was more like, okay, let's make a note that there's a wolf walking towards us. And so Terry does. He tells his family, "Hey guys, just so you know, there's a wolf coming towards us right now." And the whole family is now standing near the truck, and they're watching this wolf. And Terry recalled, as he's staring out, watching this wolf that's kind of almost walking in like a snake, like a serpentine path towards them from hundreds of yards out. It's still quite a ways out. Terry notices that there was a fence that was out where this wolf is. And the fence was pretty big, and the spaces between posts were about 6 feet. When he had a good look at the wolf next to the fence, he could tell that the wolf was at least 6 feet long. And he was thinking, are my eyes playing a trick on me? Like, that's an enormous wolf. That's the biggest wolf I've ever seen. But the wolf wasn't acting angry or aggressive. It was just kind of skulking its way towards him, very nonchalant, you know, broad daylight. And at some point, you know, Terry and the family, they're standing behind the truck, and Terry said that they all had this feeling that the wolf was not going to harm them. And the wolf got about 100 yards away, and Terry and his family are transfixed. And he even said he didn't understand why they weren't scared or why they weren't, you know, running away or shooting at it or something, but they didn't. All of them are just standing there watching this wolf that's massive. And the wolf is wagging its tail and acting like a domesticated dog. The wolf comes over and goes up near Terry's father, who was there helping unload some of the gear they had. And Terry's father just kind of reflexively reaches out to start petting this. He's petting like up at his head level, this massive wolf. And the wolf just acts like a domesticated dog and kind of rubs against his hand and then starts walking away from them, just wagging its tail and not doing anything, not causing them any harm, not snarling, not growling, nothing. But just as nonchalantly as it walked over to them, it walks over to where they had a pen with a couple of cows and calves inside of this pen. And one of the calves had its head through the post that was keeping them in this cage, just kind of watching this wolf. And the wolf notices it and in an instant jumps over to this calf and immediately has the whole head of the calf in its jaws, just trying to rip it out of the cage. But it can't get it to squeeze through the cage. And so all of a sudden, you know, like Terry and his family are broken out of this weird trance. And Terry starts firing shots at the wolf. It strikes the wolf and has no impact. They run over, they start hitting it with the back end of an axe. They're trying to get this thing off of the calf because their livestock, that was their livelihood. And you know, these are rugged people, and so they're trying to fight to save their property, to save their cows. And the wolf is just totally unaffected. It's not trying to attack Terry or his son that are trying to get rid of it. The wolf is just trying to attack the cow, but it won't let go. And finally, it just kind of gives up on the calf, starts kind of retreating. Terry ends up getting his rifle, a high-powered rifle, and takes a shot at the wolf one more time. But again, it just has no impact on the wolf. And the wolf just at some point, just as, I guess, bored, turns around and kind of trots off into the woods. After they kind of were brought out of that initial trance, that they remembered this horrible smell that's like foul, almost chemical smell that just permeated the whole area after the wolf was there. Terry and his son, they decided to go track this wolf because now there's this massive predator that's going to make owning cattle extremely difficult, and so they would have to go deal with this predator. And so instead of retreating into the house, they grab their weapons and they track the wolf that's now jogged off into the forest. And they make it to an area in the forest where the ground is very muddy and sodden. And Terry could easily make out these footprints that just suddenly stop. And they just couldn't make sense of it. And so they went back to the house and they told their family, like, we tracked it into the woods. There's no blood trail. There's nothing. It just walked in and vanished. So this is day one of being at this ranch, and they're all on edge now. The whole family is on edge. They really don't know what to make of that wolf. The sheer size of it, the fact that it was totally unaffected by being shot multiple times. You know, there's real concern over their own livelihood because they keep cattle and they're only going to have more that are going to be out in these pens. And if there are wolves that are 3 times the size of a normal wolf that are walking around killing cattle, that's a big problem if you own cattle. And so they're on edge, and they're all in a way trying almost not to talk about how crazy and how bizarre that encounter with the wolf was. They're just like, they're treating it like it's just a normal predator problem. Like, man, we gotta get those wolves, we gotta protect our cattle. But in the back of everybody's minds, they're like, something very strange is happening here. Gwen, she was having some other very strange things that were happening to her that she was not tying to the wolf thing. She was just noticing a couple of distinct things that were happening to her that made her think that she actually had a very real like medical problem, that she had, like, you know, true memory issues. Because 2 things happened. One, in that first week, she had gone to the grocery store, and when she came back, she put the groceries away. And then she left to go to the other room. And when she came back, all the groceries were now back in the bags. And so for like 20 minutes, she's just sitting there like dumbfounded with, did I put the groceries away? Same day, she goes to take a shower. And she hangs her towel in the bathroom like anyone would, and she takes a shower. And then when she gets out, the towel's missing. And she's like, huh. She gets another towel and she towels off. And then she finds the towel hanging up in a closet on the other side of the house. And so between the groceries and the towel, she's like, is there something wrong with me? Am I like having a stroke? Am I having a medical issue here that I'm like literally losing my mind? And it wasn't until Terry actually had a similar experience that she started to wonder if this had to do with maybe that strangeness with the wolf, that maybe there's just something odd happening about this property. And it was Terry, in that first week, he had been digging holes for a new fence. And he had this big fence digging tool. It was about 70 pounds that he was using to dig the holes for the fence. And so he had taken a break after making a bunch of posts for this fence. He took a break, left his fence digging tool, you know, at the last place he had dug a post, and he went in to grab a bite to eat, came back out, and his fence digger is missing. And initially he just goes into the house and he's like, hey, you know, to his wife, to his kids, like, did you guys move my fence digger? Like, do you know what happened to it? Like, where is it? It's not out there. And they're like, no, we've been in the house the whole time. I have no idea. And so they couldn't find it. And a week goes by, and he's out patrolling his property looking for wolves. And in the tree, like well away from where he had been digging the post before, in the tree, his fence digging tool that's 70 pounds is like 70 feet in the air, strung up in this tree. So Terry comes back to the house and he tells his family about the fence digging tool being in the tree. And that's when Gwen tells Terry about her experiences with the groceries going back in the bag and a towel being moved around the house. And everybody in the family starts to really start being scared. We can't explain what's happening on this property, and we're very isolated. And what's the deal with all these locks on all the doors? I mean, they're starting to feel really concerned. Following the fence digging tool being found, Terry started to notice lights on his property. initially, because this was the first couple of weeks they're there, he would see lights way at the far end of his property that looked like headlights, and he would think someone must have made a wrong turn that wound up on my property, and we were kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and they'll just leave. And so when he first started seeing these lights, that's what he assumed it was, just people making a wrong turn. But he started to see it so often that he wondered if people were illegally hunting on his property. And so one night he sees these lights on his property and he goes out to investigate. In fact, he's angry. He's had all these strange things happen. His family's on edge, and now he's mad and he's going to take it out on this person who's illegally hunting on his property. And he starts charging out to these lights and he starts getting closer and closer and he starts to realize it's not making any sound. If this was like a truck, it's not making any sound. And we're in an area where I could totally hear that if it was a vehicle, and he can't hear anything. And as he gets closer and closer, the lights start retreating from him without making a sound and then float up into the sky and disappear. And Terry's like, dude, what is going on here? The winter rolls around and it's a particularly brutal winter. And one night he couldn't account for one of his cows. And so he's out looking for this one stray cow, and he searches his whole property, and there's only one area that he hasn't searched, and it's that forest where that giant wolf had disappeared after marching in there, and they tracked it in there. And so he goes in there, and as soon as he gets to the tree line, he notices there's a bunch of footprints from what looks like a cow. And he's relieved because it's probably his. He follows it into the woods, and much like the wolf that had just disappeared in that muddy, sodden area in the forest, in the same spot, the footprints that appeared to be this cow had also just disappeared. And then over the course of the remainder of the winter, that would happen 4 more times. The animals would run away and just disappear without a trace. By the end of the winter, after all these animals have just mysteriously disappeared, Terry and his family, but Terry in particular, has really gone into full paranoia mode. He, at night, would just stalk his own property, hiding behind bushes with his weapon, and hope
would have to at that point
what was taking his cattle. And so one night, as he's doing another fruitless search around his property, he catches out of his periphery what looks like a kind of mass of something moving around in the trees near his property. And at this point, he was kind of obscured by some shrubs and some plants. And so he kind of crouched down and looked out at the tree line. And he sees in the tree line this strange shape kind of moving about inside of the trees. And he would describe the mass as looking almost like a stealth fighter jet, but really small. And it was making no sound, and it was hovering about 20 feet off the ground. And he's crouched down, not making a sound, watching it. And it's just kind of moving around the tree line, and it has these lights it looks to be kind of scanning the ground. And it's just kind of moving around, it's shining these lights, these multicolored lights in the ground, and Terry moves a tiny bit to get a better angle on this thing. And he makes the tiniest of noises against the brush, just like a tiny little, barely audible sound. And this mass that's pretty far away, the lights immediately turn off, and it angles itself so it's facing directly at Terry. And Terry can feel it right away that it's heard this tiny little sound he's made, and now it's staring directly at Terry. And Terry's terrified, and he's looking at this thing, wondering oh my God, is it gonna come take me? What is this? Is this the thing that's been taking my livestock? And he's terrified, and he's staring at it, and it just flies away. By the spring of 1995, things have gotten really, really bad for Terry and his family. Now, not only are they losing livestock inexplicably, but they're showing up. The actual cows themselves are showing up back on their property, hours or days later, just kind of in random locations on the property, and they look like they've had surgery done, precision cuts, and pieces of them are missing. And in addition, some very strange things are happening at the house. At night, they would see these entities walking around their property, these humanoid, they described them as having no expression, just walking around their property. And sometimes they would walk right up to the glass, put their hands on the glass and look in, but there was no face. And like Terry and his family, they had blinds down and they would use the deadbolts on every single door and window, but they could hear them rapping at the glass and they could hear them communicating in a language they didn't understand right outside of their house. And this became so regular that it was almost impossible to sleep. Terry's kids started performing very poorly in school because they weren't sleeping. Terry's wife, Gwen, she lost her job at the bank because she wasn't sleeping and she was like delusional. They were all just at an absolute breaking point. Terry is now feeling totally disheartened. One night he's sitting on his porch with his rifle and he notices out on the horizon a new phenomenon. He was used to seeing the lights on his property that would be off in the distance that would disappear, and he had previously seen that kind of like fighter jet thing that was scanning the area. Like, those were two types of lights he would see, but there was a new light he saw as he's sitting on his porch. It was almost like this orangey orb that appeared off in the distance. Since he had his rifle with a high-powered scope on it, he just lifts up his rifle and he looks through his high-powered scope and he zooms in all the way, and he can see that this orb, he describes it as a portal. That as he's looking at it, it has almost like an oval shape to it, and even though it was nighttime, in the middle of the orange orb is this blue sky. It's as if he's looking through a portal into another world where it's broad daylight and there's a sky. And he doesn't know what to make of it, but he can see that a black figure is crawling out of this portal into his property. And it looks just like the black entities that were basically walking around his property. In addition to these figures that are crawling, like imagine that scene from The Ring where the girl crawls out of the well. They're crawling out of this portal into his property and then scurrying away into the tree line. And he sees weird craft as well coming into his property through this portal, and then the portal shuts and disappears. Following this night with the orange portal, Terry started to notice blue orbs that he and his family would say were the worst and most terrifying thing of all of the things they experienced. And considering they had tall, featureless black humanoids peering in their windows and rapping on their windows, that's saying something.
Creepy.
Okay, so a blue orb started showing up on their property. And the way they described it, Terry and his family, was whenever the orb came near you, it gave you this extreme